Right, before we go any further, just very quickly, I'm going to play the start in a second, ladies and gentlemen, but my apologies, I didn't realise, even though my assistant tonight has actually told me, that I've been online for the past friggin' 5 minutes, but never mind. We'll get it started, we'll have a go, we'll have a chat in about 5. Let's get the opening title sorted, shall we? Here we go.
Yay! I'm here.
Yeah, you're there, but I wasn't. My mate wasn't on, but never mind.
Well, that's
There
not
we are.
gonna work.
Oh, I think I might have to shoot the hamsters after this live stream. They really are getting bad. Hello, everybody.
No.
Welcome to another Streamstructor. I know that the beginning was not exactly the most fun start. I'm sorry about that, but as always, I'm causing muck-ups, but that's the way it works. You'll notice a slightly different setup for the screen today. You'll see down the bottom there's actually a little chat line coming up. So if you do make a chat, it will come up on the video for everybody else to see. Because I know for the first 12 hours or so after the live stream, YouTube's a bit slow loading it up, so I've kind of put something down the bottom so we can react to it a bit more easily as well than me having to refer to 15 different screens like I usually do. But happy Easter, everybody. Happy Easter. And yes, you may have heard another voice there that's not somebody who's been on the stream before. My disembodied voice tonight, who'll be with me for most of the stream, is Jasmine. Hello, Jazz.
Hello. Very happy to be here.
Yes. Yeah, so does the police by the sound of it, but there we are.
Yeah, me and the police are here today. I hope that's your Easter spirit ready for you. That's what I bring. It's an Australian thing. We're all criminals.
That was well timed. That really was well timed. You know? How are you, Jazz? Nino, Nino, Nino. There we are. Blues and twos over the place. There we go.
Also, it's one of those things you like, hope that no one heard that. Everyone heard that. That's fine.
Everybody would have heard that, yes, unfortunately. That is one thing there. So yes, this is the Easter version of Streamstructor. Now, considering it's been 17 of these, they don't get any technically better, as we know at the beginning of the stream there. But hopefully this is the last time the hamsters of this laptop are used for a live stream. Fingers crossed, unless something financially comes up and mucks everything up. I'll be premiering a new setup next month, so fingers crossed we'll have something a little bit smoother. Potentially maybe have people on camera as well if they want to or don't.
Ooh, fancy. Less disembodied.
Sorry?
Less disembodied, more embodied voices.
Speaking of disembodied, turning into embodied, Arthur, who's usually here, he's not here tonight, but I know you will be watching at some point. Hello, and happy Easter, Robert. Yes, I did see that. The chat is working. I can see that down the bottom. You said happy Easter. That's really exciting. It's a new toy that does seem to be working for some reason, but there we are. It's just trying to make things a little bit nicer, that's all. And it will let me scroll up and down, even better. Ah, brilliant. Okay, this is going to be fun. Anyway, sorry.
Arthur.
So, yeah, the joys of live stream and the joys of everything. It's been an interesting day for me. It's been do you know what it is? I think it's because of the nice weather yesterday up in Scotland, and it's got a bit cold and overcast today, kind of Scottish weather. It was lovely sunny yesterday, and I think my mood's gone down a little bit. I don't know about you, Jazz.
Yeah, it's definitely like very connected to the sun. I think because it's spring and everyone's really excited for the end of kind of restrictions, and everyone's been really excited and eager and happy. And then when it goes down again like this, it's like sigh.
Sigh indeed. Absolutely sigh indeed. Anyway, it does seem to be running quite well at the moment, the whole thing. I don't know what you're seeing at your side. I don't know if I'm that stuttery or not. It doesn't seem to be that stuttery here, but then again, I can't see it live, so
It still looks lagged to me, but that's not a problem.
It's what, sorry?
Like when I watch it, it's a little bit different, but it seems fine. Looks good, right?
I hope.
I'm not the expert in this field. Mine's normally an audio platform or an Instagram platform. Those are my two platforms. Podcast or Instagram, that's what I can do.
Yes, audio, absolutely.
Audio I can do.
So you do a podcast, don't you? And it's about a certain certain Muppet. And that's not a Scottish euphemism. It's actually genuinely a certain Muppet, yeah.
No, it's the best Muppet. Yes, it's called Letters to Miss Piggy. It's all about kind of our love letters kind of to Miss Piggy. It's really fun. I do it with my friend Abby, and we just have so much fun kind of going through her clips and different films and different things. This next week will be just about the first Muppets film, which is exciting.
Well, that'll be cool.
Yeah, it's really fun. Actually, it's been like such a nice lockdown project. I think something to do something creative when you can't really see people or do much. It's nice to kind of have something to look forward to.
It always makes a difference when you have something like that to look forward to. I mean, I look forward to these live streams, and the plan is to do a little bit more live stream related next month, which we'll talk about later on. Sure. Relating to a certain Scottish election that's coming up, but I'll mention that later on. But we do have one person on the chatting away and watching us. We know for certain. Robert is with us. Hello, Robert.
Hi, Robert.
Happy Easter to you, as you've mentioned already. Now, I have to say congratulations to you as well, because you've actually managed to get your old job back, if I remember correctly, from your Facebook stream. So Really pleased for you because you were in a bit of the doldrums initially, which was a bit of a shame. So I'm glad you've actually got back to the working world and something it seems like you enjoy as well, which is really nice to see.
Brilliant.
So hopefully that works out for you. Right. Let's have a look. So Easter. Have you been eating all your Easter eggs today, or are you all sorted?
I've had a couple. I've had most of the other things because I've been doing a lot of baking. So I've had like mini egg cookies that I made. I made hot cross buns, 2 different types of hot cross buns, and stuff like that. So my sweetness has been kind of more other things rather than actual chocolates. I've had a couple little eggs this morning, but that's really it. I've got a nice lint bunny to have at some stage, but yeah, we'll see how we go.
Oh, that's cool to hear. Well, I've got a couple of Easter eggs, right? And I've just opened the first of the Easter eggs, and there are a lot of Easter eggs available. I have to say that British phrase because there is advertising on this wrapper. But this is how it opened. Look, you'll see that in about 10 seconds. But basically, that is how it opened, right? They haven't even wrapped the thing properly. Never mind.
Really? It was just the foil all over the place.
No.
What egg? What egg is it? Tell me. Let's name and shame.
Yeah, it's a whisper egg.
Oh, okay.
Whisper gold egg. But look, the top isn't even wrapped.
They just kind of half-assed it? Like...
Yeah, they've half-boiled it, yes.
Yeah. Okay, oh no, I see it. Time frames. That's terrible. But also, I don't know, I find eggs, you said there's a lot of varieties here. That's just not true. British have very few varieties of Easter. I don't think you even do Easter very well, in my opinion. But that's just one Australian's opinion.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just because you have an animal that probably has it all on their person and doesn't need an extra basket to lay the eggs down. Is that true? Is it kangaroos?
No, kangaroos are not our Easter bunnies. Bilbies are our Easter bunnies in Australia.
Bilbies.
Fun fact. A
right.
bilby. It's a little marsupial from the centre of Australia. Very cute. Kind of looks a bit odd. If you Google a bilby, you'll be a little shocked to think that it's similar to a cute bunny rabbit, but... yeah, bilbies are technically our Easter bunny.
But because they're marsupials, they've got their own pouches, and that's where the eggs are stored. Pouches. Yeah.
And they do hop about, but like they're much smaller. They're much more like rabbit-sized, which I feel like if you suddenly had a kangaroo involved, there would definitely be no competition. You know, kangaroos are a whole different ballgame.
So why is the UK worse for Easter then compared to Australia? Come on, spill the beans.
So I was talking to Fraser about this, friend of the show, Fraser, and
who might be with us later.
Yeah, hopefully. That there's like you're obsessed with just plain eggs, or I guess you just realize that plain eggs is all you deserve or something. I don't know. But, like, there's only like a couple of eggs with stuff in them, and when I say stuff in them, I mean the only ones that I found are like big ones that cost like 10 or 15 pounds, massive ones. There's like a Galaxy one, and there's a couple Cadbury ones that are massive and have a little bit like the chocolate has to have something in it, the actual chocolate, rather than just a plain chocolate egg. Because who is that for? Really it makes me mad. So in Australia you can get like everything in it. So like I used to always get like crunchy bunnies, so like a crunchy bar, but like the little bits of that honeycomb is like in a bunny. Also, you don't have many bunnies. You have like a couple of bunnies, but you're mostly egg based, which is interesting.
Yeah, we are mostly egg based. Obviously it's based off the situation with where Easter comes from. Obviously the egg is a representation of the stone that's moved. But
That's moved.
Yeah, in the story of Jesus when he rises.
Ah.
He moves the stone from the cave.
Is it egg-shaped?
Well, it's kind of egg-shaped, and that's what the egg's supposed to represent, apparently.
I didn't know that. I always thought it was like rebirth, like eggs meaning birth. And
that as well, because obviously you think about it, he came back after dying on the cross, so...
It definitely feels like... I just thought it was like a birthy thing, because eggs kind of mean life as well, like, on that kind of level, so... That's always what I thought. And then I don't know when the rabbits came in, but I'm for it. I'd much prefer a bunny to an egg. Just quietly. Lint has come through, swinging. They've got their nice, like, hazelnut ones. Like a lint bunny with bits of hazelnut in it. Very good. But mostly I'm disappointed, if I'm honest.
It's one of those things with the eggs here. I mean, I remember being a kid and used to have actual things in the eggs. They managed to seal them in the eggs, but they kind of got away from that, and it's all on the outside in the box now.
Which I don't like. I don't know. So my housemate is Italian, and she said that in Italy, basically they've always got the like presents inside the eggs. So kind of like Christmas crackers, like you know the terrible toys inside Christmas crackers.
Yeah.
Imagine that inside an Easter egg. That's what they do in Italy. Which I was like, that's wild. So learning different cultures is very important to me.
So how long have you been in the UK for, or rather Scotland? I keep saying the
Scotland.
UK, but really it's
No, I've been
Scotland,
in
isn't
I've
it?
been in
So
Scotland most of the time. I traveled a little bit in the beginning, but only for like a month because I've got some friends in England. But mostly I've been in Scotland for I'm coming up on 5 years in September, which is exciting and scary because I have to do the like life in the UK test, and I'm gonna become a settled get settled status, and it costs tons of money, but it's like a whole thing. So it's exciting, but like a little nervous just because of visa paperwork stressful. But
to
I'm
be
excited.
to be fair, if you want to be here, then it's worth it. That's how
Yeah,
I see it.
exactly. I know, I love it. Like, I mean, like, obviously, I put down my roots, like I'm here to stay. And I love Scotland. Like, Scotland's always been, from the very beginning, it's always been so open and like lovely to me. So I'm very, very grateful to be able to be here. So yeah, whatever it takes.
Good. We've discussed that on previous live streams because another friend of mine called Stephanie who came from America. She'd been here 10 years studying most of that time, and she was trying to get Remain to leave, which she's got. But we were talking about life in the UK test and going through that, and me, Arthur, and Fraser did that on a live stream a couple ago, and we would have been punted out of the country. Put it that way.
Yeah.
The questions are so weird. You guys know more than we do of our laws and cultures, I think.
It's really odd because like some of them are really basic. Like some of them are like, what country is Edinburgh in? And then some of them are really just like, who won this war in this year? Or like, which Olympic player did this in 1984? And you're like, what? It's tricky. But I have the app. I practice a lot.
That's good. I'm sure you'll pass it with flying colours when you do get to do it, so I don't see it being a problem.
It's multiple choice, which helps. Like, that helps. Because a lot of it is silly answers. So you're like, no, it's definitely not them. You can there's a lot of like process of elimination. So that helps.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's exciting.
Very exciting and worth doing it, and good luck when you do it, because I know it can be a bit of a bind to get it done, but once you're done...
It's just a little bit of a slug, but it's like any kind of thing that's like a lot of paperwork, like it's not hard, it's just like tedious. But then I get to have it, and then after a year I can become a citizen, which is exciting as well. Get a passport and do the things.
Well, that's good. That's what you want.
Exactly. I'm here to stay. Stuck with me, sorry about it.
That's fine. Just don't speak to Brexiteer, you'll be fine,
No. Yeah. No, they're fine with me. I'm, from
well, you're not European, that's probably why, but there we are.
Exactly. The Commonwealth situation. I get this weird Commonwealth clause. People don't mind my immigration, just other immigration they have a problem with. But yeah,
well, that's right. You get a bit more special status, don't you? You don't need to because of the ex-empire links. Yeah.
Well, current empire kind of. So she's still on all our money. Like the Queen's on all of our money. She's still definitely our head of state. Still kind of the empire.
Do you think Australia will vote to abolish a monarchy once the Queen's gone, or do you think they'll keep it?
We're definitely attached to the Queen, like herself. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Obviously, no one really is a big fan of Charles, so I don't know how that would turn out. They like the young ones. Like, there's a lot of big royalists in Australia, kind of like America, but like obviously in Australia, it's like more attachment to like us. I think it's about us feeling more attached to like culture in Europe, and like because we're so far away from the rest of the world, we really like latch on to the crown and like that empire and being part of something bigger. I think. But nobody likes Charles, so who knows?
Yeah, I saw that the other day. I was just, you know what it is when you go into the YouTube rabbit hole, or Bilby hole as you might call it.
Yes.
When you go into that rabbit hole and you start watching videos about things like that, and I've been watching clips of The Crown because obviously I've just been seeing them as they're coming through on YouTube and things like that. And one of the articles came up about this Fox News thing about 2 months ago about the fact that people don't want, this guy had written a book saying that Charles will ruin the monarchy and destroy the monarchy in Australia. This is Australian Australian Sky News, not Fox News. Sorry, my apologies. That's an offence.
That's okay. I mean, Rupert Murdoch made all of those things, so it's fine.
Yeah.
And he's Australian. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. But Sky News is very more Fox Newsy in its outlook, of what I understand, and it certainly came across in that one. That's for sure. Absolutely.
I don't know. So we had a referendum in '96 to become a republic, and which I mean I was quite young for, so I don't actually remember it happening. I just know that it happened. But and it was pretty clear. But at that time we were like in a big Diana phase as well. Like were really like, I had a real connection to that, and like anyone did, like when she visited, like Australia lost it. Like we like could not handle that Diana visited us. So like that really helped, I think, in their kind of standing. And then yeah, no, I guess 96 we were just, it wasn't a landslide to stay, but it was still like a very clear majority. Like it wasn't a close call. So I think it's because of connection. I think people don't want. Also, maybe it's a corrupt politician thing. Like, you know how you're like, oh, my prime minister's the worst, but what if he was president? That would be even worse. You know, like, I think there's something in you that maybe goes, well, at least if the Queen's part of it, he can't be president.
That's maybe why that might be a reason why Boris gets away with it so much in the UK as well.
Yeah. Because what if he was president? That would be so much worse. I still think that's kind of true. Like, if they had executive powers, that would be worse, right?
If he's the president of the UK, at least we could turn around and say he's not like Trump.
Could we? Could we say that?
Yeah, he's not. I don't think he's as destructive as Trump ever was. He's not as narcissistic as Trump. That's for sure.
He's a big fan, though, aren't they? They're kind of cut from the similar cloth. Not as delusional, maybe, but similar.
No, well,
cut from a very similar cloth, I think, and definitely buddy, and have the same hairdresser. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know, but I do think that's maybe why people in Australia are more attached to the monarchy. But I don't know. Those are just my guesses. But I do think we also just like the Queen. And we're just used to her, right? It's definitely, she's been the Queen for such a long time. Everyone's just used to her.
Well, it's 70 years next year. It's a long time.
Exactly. So it's most people's lives. You know, like that's the majority of people.
Yeah, there's very few people who have a proper memory of previous monarchs in the UK. And that's good. That's where the big question is, because she's been there for so long. It's not like other countries where they have where the monarchy has changed quite a bit over the past 70 years. It hasn't in the UK. It's weird, in some respects. Anyway, we could talk about the monarchy and bore everybody else's socks off all day. But we do have a kind of live stream to go about. Now, you have seen some of these. You know how the format works. Basically, having to play videos in between. This today is the lineup that we have. So you'll see that in about 5 seconds' time, but I'll talk through it as we go anyway. So we've got the vlogs as always, and this one is the one that everybody was satiated why I call myself Deanstructor. You'll find that out. That's the name. Well, it was called Alias originally, I think it was called, but I changed it to Why Deanstructor because it is basically a vlog about that. The 6 Facts series, talking about royalty. We have the great multiple times grandmother of Queen Elizabeth II, Mary Queen of Scots.
I'm excited for that.
It's actually the second most popular 6 Facts video on my channel, and it keeps getting regular views. I'm really pleased with it at the moment. And of course, it wouldn't be a Streamstructor without a Doctor Who review, and this time it's the Idiot's Lantern, the David Tennant story. So that is our setup today.
Lovely.
So yes, now is this going to work, or am I going to have a bit of trouble with it?
You tell me.
Right, the chat isn't going to come up, but the images are. That's good. Right, I'll just take off the image of Fraser because I'll need to replace that in a minute.
Very picky.
In preparation. I don't blame him, to be fair. So would you be. No, that's not the one. Is it? Oh, well done, Barry. You've mucked it up again.
What do you like?
I'm terrible.
Oh, those are cute pictures.
Yeah, I decided to pick that one. I thought that one was
fun,
nicer.
Right?
Yeah, I like that one.
It's festive. I was dressed up for my friend's wedding, who was in Australia, and I decided to dress up for a speech.
It's a good online dating picture, that one.
I mean, thank you. I'll take that on board. I have a question about dating later, actually, but I'll save it till when Fraser's here.
You have a question about dating, right?
Yes.
Well, Fraser might be able to help you with that, to be fair, when he comes on.
Yeah, well, he's an expert in this field. So, yeah, I definitely want to have a chat about that later. But, yeah, that's me.
Well, we know what he's an expert of as well after getting chastised for it last month. And I will apologise in advance. I didn't start the conversation. I blame Arthur for that. I still blame Arthur for that. But I did facilitate the conversation, so I'm sorry. That's my fault. So there we go.
But poor Arthur can't defend himself in this situation. So what are we going to do?
I don't know. We'll find out eventually. But yeah. So I'll try and get the chat working on this one, but it's not working here. But I have got it on my phone, so if you are chatting away, I can see it. But obviously, this is a wee test today, so it may not come up in some. But I'm just trying to reformat it a little bit in preparation for things I want to do going forward. So it seems to be working okay. There doesn't seem to be much stuttering. It seems to be working pretty. I think the hamsters are actually being well fed today. They're actually working okay.
Oh, he called them gremlins.
Yeah. Well, Tom and Dick are usually a bit of a problem, but Harry's a hard worker. I think the others are okay today, so we'll be okay there. Speaking of gremlins and hamsters and things like that, they better earn their keep, because I better play one of my videos. So let's get on with the vlog, shall we?
Perfect.
And we'll come back and have a wee chat about that, and also some other things, including some birthday shout-outs as well. Yes, I know, I'm sad. I just trailed my Facebook list and birthday shout-outs. Yes, I did. Sorry, my apologies. I did sound like something else. Birthday shout-outs for I can't believe I nearly slip of the tongue there. I warned Jazz the whole time before we started, please do not swear. I nearly let slip one there. I'm sorry.
I've been
my
so
apologies.
good.
You have. You behaved yourself, and I start and spoil it as always. Typical. Anyway, here's the vlog for vlog number 18. Little story about why it's Deanstructor. Hello everybody, welcome to vlog 18. This is just a usual piece to camera, but I want to discuss something about something that everybody's asking about more recently, and topics are coming up. Your internet presence. Now Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, like this, they all have information on you as a person when you sign up. It can be as simple as your date of birth and the location you are in the world, but they all have information about you. So I thought I'd do a little search, just out of boredom, for Barry Stanton. I knew that wouldn't come up with much for me, and it didn't. Most of it comes up for a rock and roll singer called Barry Stanton, a sports commentator in America called Barry Stanton, and a British actor who's had many minor roles in 70s and 80s TV shows called Barry Stanton, including one in Doctor Who. My claim to fame with Colin Baker. But I had a look at the rest of the family, and not much there. I am the most noticed online, probably natural, and I thought, well, why don't I put in my internet alias, which is Deanstructor, which is the name of this channel that this video is posted on, and there's numerous variations of it across the internet that I use as my username. And I put it in, and I'm still going through it, but 20 Google page searches later, Deanstructor is coming up, and it's my Deanstructor, not anybody else's, my Deanstructor. And it got me thinking, is internet aliases that you create probably more penetrable than your personal name? And is that the better thing to do? And I think it possibly is. I think it probably helps that I've had 13 years of exposure with that username. Well, not 13 years, about 11 years of that username, but I've had 13 years on the internet in various forms. And people have asked me, why Deanstructor? Why do you have Deanstructor as your username? Well, simple as, when I first joined the internet, I wanted to start a name up. I always liked the name that Mum and Dad were going to call me, which is Aaron Dean. I changed it and spelled I-R-I-N, A-R-I-N, this is Aaron instead of Aaron. And it was Barry Aaron Dean was my first username. And that's what my first email was and everything else. And then I wanted to think of a name for a Doctor Who fan site, and I called myself Doctor Who's Deanstruction. And I liked the pun on Deanstruction that it was, because Deanstruction obviously is destruction. A pun on it. I've always liked the name Dean. So I decided, well, let's change my username. So initially I was the Deanstructor.
The full title is The Deanstructor of Doctor Who. That was the original title I put myself as. And eventually it's just changed and morphed into just Deanstructor. And that's basically it. And I looked online and I'm thinking there's a lot of stuff with me included, and a lot of sites as well with my YouTube videos as a listing, as a playlist, which is good, but why can't you just friggin' give me more views? You're not doing that, you know? It's all these oddball sites, there's nothing really special. And it made me think, you know, a question to you guys out there. What is your username presence? Have you done a search in Google, and how far-reaching is it? YouTube has quite a few YouTube names, famous names of its people out there who've expanded out to do other things. Obviously, they have commitment and they have lots of fingers in different pies and they try lots of things. I suppose monetary-wise, I don't do as much as I could do because I have the knowledge to do it, and I could do it quite easily and quite happily if I wanted to, but I don't. And even vlogging once a month is becoming very difficult. One, because I don't know what to say, purely because I've not got anything interesting to say half the time. And secondly, I'm not actually going out places that are interesting to talk about or video. And if I've videoed, it's very covert. I really want to try and get some full permissions there, so that's a more confidence thing. But at the end of the day, it was just a quick video just to say hi, I'm still here, I'm still vlogging. There's 2 videos due next month, the normal vlog, and I've got a little video, which is 16th of November, it should be released, about the ITV franchise auction of 1991. It's 20 years since that was announced, since the winners and losers were announced that on the 16th of November. So that's my specialist video. I will get Devolve from the Vote finished at some point. I need to do a summary. 6 months on, I need to do something. But apart from that, that's basically it. Very short, very sweet, very not much exciting. Usual stuff. I've got quiz night tonight. I've got like more quiz nights to go on. Problem is you can't really film in those sort of places because it's not the sort of thing you want to do, and people don't really like being filmed anyway. But have a look at my Facebook. You'll have a link to Sorry Smartphone, which is the quiz. Please like it. Let's try and get a few likes on there so we can start doing some proper marketing on Sorry Smartphone. But apart from that, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next month with Vlog 19 and that special video. Until then, see you later.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, Fraser, my friend. Hope everything's okay with you. Yes, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Hello. Yeah, so here we go. So that was the vlog explaining Deanstructor, and there's a few other things that I thought are quite insightful considering. All being
Many
said.
names.
Sorry?
You had many names, or many potential names.
Many potential names, but obviously as everything happens, it evolves, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. I've never had, I guess, like a screen name like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking of that because like the closest I think I've had is just my Instagram, which is just Jazz, but that's still my name. You know what I mean? Like it's not that. I think the closest I had was like an email address when I was young, which was like Buffy's_number1fan, which was quite lame. But like that's probably the closest I get. But yeah, interesting. I like how it's kind of become what it is.
Yep. Oh, hold on a minute. We've had more comments and I've not noticed them. Oh, for goodness sake. Arthur's on.
Arthur.
Arthur's here as well.
Yeah,
there we go.
I saw him.
Yeah, you saw him. I didn't.
Oh, sorry.
As
I didn't say hello.
always,
Hi,
I haven't
Arthur.
seen him. There we are. He
Hi,
is there.
Arthur.
Let's try and keep the gremlins at bay. Yeah, I know it's terrible. So
Yeah.
we got chats here. So Arthur's going, "Bar humbug." Hi, Robert. Evening team, says Robert. Evening Fraser, says Fraser. Other way around, but that's not the point. But interesting enough with the whole situation with me making comments saying I can't vlog monthly.
Yeah.
Funny how 5 years later I start a situation where I do virtually vlog every month. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
you're nailing it.
Um,
Also, how many years ago was that? You had such a baby face.
that was 10 years ago,
Little
2011.
teeny tiny baby face.
Mm-hmm.
Hilarious.
And I was still getting ID quite regularly at that point.
I'm not surprised. You had a baby face. I'm so rarely ID'd. I've always been like this old person, which when I was a teenager was great. Like not being ID'd when you're like 16, you feel like it's a superpower, but not being ID'd any other time, you're like, how old do you think I am? You know, like it definitely changes at some stage in your life.
It took till 31 before I stopped being ID'd.
All right, brag, brag, brag.
Ah, it wasn't. No. I think that's
Definitely.
I think that's about the same age that it took Fraser as well. There's an interesting story about that, which will maybe pop in at some point if he does become an audio person. But yeah.
Definitely.
Yes, we are here. We're just
You
in the
are an
process of
audio
doing
person?
things. Yes, I am an audio. Yes, this is yes. I'm just a disembodied voice at the moment.
Yes, no, you're disembodied, but no, disembodied voice. That's right. Welcome
Yes,
back.
you were babyface, Baz.
Right? Such a little baby face.
I think Mad's response was, "Oh my god."
Did you have
now?
That's not what it looks like now.
Oh,
No.
fucking hell! What happened to that?
There's
Yeah,
been
I
a de-aging gun.
Oh, what is that?
we do have the premiere of. I've never had so many women on this live stream as I've had before. There's the voice of Mads there as well.
Yeah.
That's
Anyway,
it, that's what,
welcome.
What's your secret to do this thing? And you respond to the I responded.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. There's a bit of noise in the background. Obviously, you guys are busy working away, so if you want to mute, you're welcome to do so. It's not a problem. But
See how they go.
yeah,
They're just living their lives, right?
absolutely. I mean, they're not listening to me at all. It's the usual
No, they
thing, you know.
literally. No, maybe they did because they went quiet there.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's it's getting close to the non-embarrassing vlogs coming up, which I'm kind of happy about because I'm actually still a bit meh about all these vlogs.
I mean, it's tricky to have recordings like this. Like, I sometimes look at pictures from because when you were talking about googling, I then googled myself obviously because that was the topic, not just because I'm vain. And it is weird when there's like MySpace pictures come up, like that. And you're like, oh goodness, hello. Like I can't access that MySpace anymore. Like that's not a thing I can do. But the pictures are still existing online of me like as just a really like hardcore emo goth person. Well, I thought I was. I definitely was not. But it's just so I can see how that could be embarrassing because yeah, I look at those pictures and I'm like, what is happening here?
I can't see you as an emo, to be fair.
I know. A lot of eye makeup. I had black hair. I had black hair with purple streaks at one stage because I was pretty cool.
Mhm.
And a lot of eyeliner and like very deathly pale. A lot of eyeliner, a lot of black.
Mhm.
I was an emo too.
Right? It was the coolest thing to be at the time.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I can imagine both of you as emos, to be fair.
Yeah, it was like mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Like, that was the vibe for sure.
Yeah, I looked like I was dead because I was so pale and my hair was black.
Well, yeah, I had to make my hair black because my hair is actually quite light. But I have always been very pale, especially for an Australian. Like, I don't like, I get burned and I go back to white. Whereas, like, a lot of people there are like, tanned people. Not me.
Well, at least you're lucky you go from white to burnt. Or you
Is
go
that
from,
lucky?
you know,
Yeah, we go from pale blue to white, so.
yeah, exactly. We need a microwave to warm ourselves up, otherwise we never tan. You know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, we start at translucent and go from there. But I normally go from pale to burnt, like.
I do as well. I do. I'm from down here.
Like I remember going to Cyprus and it was like in the height of summer and it was roasting and I put on like we'll just be careful, let's put another sun cream, factor 1,000,000, it'll be fine, all lathered up, and then the first thing we all do is jump in the pool and then obviously it all comes flooding off us and then I was like, oh, I'm feeling a bit tingly in the skin department and yeah, I was a lobster.
You weren't wearing the waterproof one and you didn't let it dry? Because there's processes involved, Tracy. You've got to plan this.
my brain went, if I'm in the pool, I'll be cool. Didn't mean that's
No,
right.
it's more reflective. You get more burnt in the water. God,
Yeah.
never learned of
Yeah.
UV danger.
Reflects from
Yeah,
the water.
go back. Yeah, go tell 2017 Fraser this, please.
I will.
It wasn't that long ago.
I'm aware. there was me and there was an Irish guy as well, Kieran, and he and I both just
Lobstered up.
incinerated. It was
Properly
insane.
lobsters.
It was awful.
I get quite lucky.
But apart from that, it was a lovely holiday. I missed out seeing all the ruins and stuff though. That was quite sad. Yeah.
Oh, you're one of these people who like visiting places then, do you?
Because I was burnt as it was, and it was just the sun was mental, and I was like, no, I'm just gonna stay inside.
I like visiting places. You don't like visiting places, Barry?
I like visiting places. That's what I was wondering, because there's people out there who will go out and just sit and sunbathe, which isn't my thing. And I totally get why people do that. I'm not criticizing anybody before I get jumped down the throat on. But
Or like resort holiday people.
yeah.
Oh, it's my plan. It's my plan to go back. I just wouldn't go in the height of summer. Like I'd go when it was warm.
Why
but
would you go anywhere in the height of summer?
Because it was a wedding. It was it was my ex's cousin's wedding.
All the details.
And on that, like they're like, oh, like the family. So the woman who was getting married, her family owned the villa, like the hotel and stuff.
All right. I'm now interested again.
We still got charged.
What?
We still got charged for the rooms, and we still got charged for food and booze and everything. And it's just like, God, this is all very expensive for a wedding I don't want to be at. And then, it's just yogurt and lamb, and after a while, your stomach just gives into it. It was absolutely, it was horrible. And then the wedding started at like 2 PM, and then the main course of the meal didn't come out till like 10 o'clock at night.
Very Mediterranean
It was like
vibes.
2 hours between courses, and they're like, "You're not going to stay for the cake?" No, no, that's bad enough.
Goodness.
Yeah, don't blame me on that one, mate. I really don't.
So yeah, I'll go back, just not in the height of summer.
Holidays. How nice will holidays be?
Do you think vaccine passport should be a thing? As in, you're not allowed on this plane unless you can prove that you had your vaccine?
I think it makes sense.
Yeah, I think it makes sense too.
For holidays, I do. I can understand why the controversy is for anything in the UK. I get that.
Well, I don't see. Obviously, you wouldn't do it for things you do
I just hope
normally,
you're going to hand this, like.
but like it makes sense for flights.
That is so dark.
Especially
Oh my
if it
God,
means
sorry.
you do like less quarantining.
Sorry, I'm doing my standard. What dessert are you having on a Sunday, Fraser? And tonight's choice is
Aero dark and milk, peppermint.
Ooh.
Quite right, too.
Is it in an Easter egg shape?
Nah.
I would send it back, but it sounds great.
Yeah, we were talking earlier on about me getting the Easter eggs out.
They've demolished 2 pieces already.
oh, it's good. Oh,
Did you have Easter stuff? How was your Easter, guys?
sorry.
How was your Easter?
Lots of chocolate.
Yeah.
How was the Easter?
Yeah. Was it nice?
No.
No?
It was really that interesting, you know. It was an interesting Easter.
Glad I focused on it. Let's move on. I've had a lovely time. I made many things.
Robert.
It's not really a thing. People just laze around and eat chocolate.
Oh, that's fair. I
Yeah,
made a
there's
big...
tons of people on my face that are going, "Happy Easter, he is risen." And I'm like, yeah. I can't
Oh
be
no.
bothered. Like,
I definitely said Happy Egg Day.
yeah, Jesus, really.
Robert was also a dog. Robert said...
If it's going to be a religious thing, I'm really sorry, my kettle's really loud. But like,
I'm used to it, they're not.
if it's going to be a religious thing, you actually have to do Lent. You've got to fast. Like, from Ash
Doesn't
Wednesday.
Worth it. No, I did Pancake
That's
Day.
the whole
You're right.
reason for the chocolate.
No, I did Pancake Tuesday. I don't work out advance. I didn't miss out Pancake Tuesday. Catch me missing Pancake Tuesday. I had 2 different types of pancakes. I had crepes and regular pancakes. It was a great day. But
Ladies and gentlemen, it's
like
got
You
to
made
that
all your
time
hot
of...
cross buns, right?
I made lots of hot cross buns, yeah. But I'm not religious. I just like tradition. I just like
Just
tradition.
stop talking over Jasmine. You're being rude.
That's fine. It gives me a chance to actually butt in and actually try and control the live stream again. Apart from
Sorry.
that...
Oh, we're taking over again, Baz.
I'm sorry.
Well, Robert was also a goth, which I think was cute.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. He was a
Yeah.
goth in the mid 2000s. He even had
See?
shoulder-length hair. And
You're
I'm going,
all
I wish
goths
I could have
since
shoulder-length
2000.
hair again.
Yeah. Sorry, Barry. One day.
No, Mr. Lumpy Head here, I don't think so.
But yeah, apparently, I guess the mid 2000s was definitely a goth time because
It
that's
was.
3 of us then.
With the eyeliner, everything else.
I
Absolutely.
mean, I recently found some old photos and I have curtains in them, and that's quite upsetting.
So funny.
That's 19. That is not.
But still upsetting all the same. Like,
Yeah, I know it's upsetting. I have to look at it.
I mean, not right now. You don't. Right here.
And the thing that got me with the pictures I saw the other day that you posted from Night is Day is I could recognise you initially.
Sorry.
The Night is Day pictures you reposted the other day.
Yeah, for the 2005.
Yeah, I didn't recognise you initially.
Well,
You
how
look
old are you?
completely
Like,
different.
What, 12?
I would have been 12, and I was like, I'm not 12.
No.
I was 15.
2005,
How
I
you
was 12. I was 12 in 2005.
I would have been 20, just turned 21.
Okay. Well, you look 12. Just
That's
quietly.
fair.
just in case you
I've
wonder.
looked 12 my entire life, so that's fine.
Oh yeah, well, Barry was talking about that you guys always get carded. Not me. I'm an old hag.
Well,
but...
no. I never said we always get carded. I said the last time I remember Fraser getting carded, I was with him. I don't know if that's happened since.
Was that when we went to see Horrible Bosses 2?
Well, we went to the pub afterwards, and it was at the pub you got carded.
Yeah, and I don't get carded anymore. It's really
Hey,
upsetting.
come on, we say ID down here. We don't say carded. Let's get that right.
Sorry. We say IDs as well. We're just kind of make Jazz feel like she's part of the crew, you know, but...
She's part of the crew. It's just you're throwing me off. We say ID.
Yeah.
I've not been ID'd in a very long time.
I know, but the funny thing was, I got
need
waved through by the
someone
bouncer. Fraser got asked for
You
ID.
do
It's kind of
better.
like, yes! You know, but...
I remember going in on, it was my 18th birthday, and my eldest brother took me out, so he would have been 28, and I got ID'd, and I was like, hey, here's my provisional driver's license, as you'll see, it's my birthday. And then they ID'd my brother, and he had no ID. He goes, oh, for God's sake, I'm nearly 30. The guy went, yeah, fair enough, and just let him in.
That shouldn't happen. That's definitely against the rules. If you ask, they have to have it.
Fraser,
Yes, what have I lost?
what the sweet Jesus have you done with my spoon?
What spoon?
My spoon from my nana. Like, you've already fucked up my like, oh, that'll be violent.
Spoongate over at that house.
My
Terrible.
God.
Speaking of spoon gates and ages and things like that, I'm gonna do a little talk about birthdays coming up this month, I think.
Yay!
Now there is a birthday coming up on Friday, which I have to mention, otherwise he'll never speak to me again.
Who is it?
Auntie
really?
Moira.
Oh, it's Jim's birthday. Yeah.
How would you? You have to go.
Fraser, did you actually forget it's Jamie's birthday on Friday?
I did promise him I'd be home. I'd come home no later than his birthday, so we could do. But you know, Jamie, or Jameis as we call him now, he won't do anything for his birthday.
We should go to the park. I'll make a cake.
Like,
Yeah, go do some, Aspo drinking in the park.
yeah.
And you know I love making cakes for people.
I'm a vagrant now. I drink in
The
the
police are
public.
piss poor. You'll be fine. You won't get caught.
As long as we're not in Kelvin Grove, we'll be fine. They're being more intense in there at the moment.
Yeah, there's been a lot of coverage about that.
A
When
lot of
everybody-
drama.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I was saying the other day though. Like the genie is out the bottle with vaccines. Every day they go, he has X amount of million people not been vaccinated, and the public are just like, well, it's summer, sunny now, and vaccines are a
No,
thing.
it's spring.
Yeah, well, for Scotland it's summer, and it's true.
Scotland,
It
guys.
really is. Yesterday
I mean,
was
what-
15 degrees and everyone was half naked and the happiest
Yeah,
they've ever been.
that-
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
That's still fucking cold.
was it taps?
Oh no!
Certainly
It's 10 degrees Celsius and it's taps off up in Scotland, so it's fine.
Taps off. Proper taps off yesterday. Yeah, save water. May I tell you?
I am talking around Worcester and they're all
Taps up.
all these skinny, chatty guys like walking around half naked. It's just embarrassing.
God.
It's not warm enough to take the lizards out yet, but it is getting that stage. You know,
Oh,
that's how
what
warm
does
it was getting.
mean?
It was roasting up here yesterday, down here, yesterday and
Mhm.
today.
Oh, fuck me. Django, get out of the way.
Well,
Okay.
not, it was just a cat getting in the way.
Yeah,
Hello.
I'm just so glad I warned Jazz not to swear. It's really been a good live stream, you know. But
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry,
I've
no
been
one
so
told me about
good.
the no swear rule.
I could have posted it for
It
Jack.
It was supposed to be respectful
All right, so
to you, Mads, but obviously that's not happened.
Swearing
So
like a trooper. Nice.
it was supposed to be respectful to you that we didn't swear when you were on, but obviously that rule is kind of broken. So there we are.
You're absolutely fine. Go for it.
Well, not now.
Not
I'm very
paying any
disciplined.
attention. He's on his Xbox, so everyone else is dead to him.
Well, considering I was in major trouble after the conversation I did stop facilitating last month, I need to just behave myself, you know. So
What was that? Oh, were you slagging Fraser off and he wasn't there to defend himself? That conversation.
yes, the domestic gods conversation that went wrong. Yes.
He's all yours, man.
What domestic gods? There's no such thing.
But there are a couple of other people I just want to wish happy birthday who may end up seeing this as well. I've got my mate Scott, who still is an emo at 30.
Well done, Scott.
His birthday's on Sunday. My friend Donna on the 13th.
30?
You're not emo.
Yeah, you listen to my songs.
Yeah, but that's... I'm so sorry, that's not considered retro.
That is rude. That is so rude.
If you want to mute Skype now so you two can duke it out, that's absolutely fine with me, but there we are. And the other person I just want to say happy birthday to on the 28th is Ellie, one of my Glasgow Doctor Who friends. Happy birthday, Ellie, when it comes. I know you guys have not had the best of times recently, so I hope you have a good day with the family when it comes, and hopefully you might be able to meet people outdoors in a more sociable aspect.
Yeah, end of the month. Things are happening. I booked something in for next month, actually. I'm, like, ready.
Yeah, well, I've got a week off next month, and I've got to finish off a video that I started that I need to complete for vlogs. So I've got everything sorted for later in the year, and I want to do a couple other places in Scotland as well. But I feel sorry for you guys. Well, I don't feel sorry for Fraser. He's bubbling down south, but I mean most people. I feel sorry for people in Glasgow because they can't go outside the boundaries at the moment, or they're not supposed to. You know?
Well, the stay-at-home order is gone now, isn't it? So it's stay local.
You have to stay within your local authority area, which is great for me. I mean, I can go down to Wanlock Head, no problem, and up to Rutherglen if I wanted to. Right?
Yeah,
Arthur can go to Girvan. I don't know why he wants to go to Girvan, but he could if he wanted to. But Jamie and you, when you normally you Jazz can't go outside Glasgow unless it's essential reasons. Which is,
it's fine.
and it's not the
I
big
still go
area of
around
Glasgow.
You alright?
I still go around Glasgow a bit, but like I haven't really. I went to the south side for the first time in such a long time, and it was wild. Because it was obviously things have changed. But I've really only been in the West End for so many months. I've been in town once, but just living my little West End time.
You moved October, November time?
No, I moved here in June last year. But sorry, there was a bit of time last year I could still travel before, but when we went back into lockdown, like proper lockdown, or at least stay local or stay at home. But it's just like, it's interesting because you just like, there's just a few streets you go up and down. Like, you've got your parks, you've got your supermarkets. There's just a few people that you can see that live near you, which has been fine.
But you've been really good at finding like new pop-up restaurants and cafes and stuff.
Yes. It literally is the only thing that brings me joy. So yes.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing people properly when we can travel at the end of the month. It would be nice to actually go outdoors and spend time with people.
Well, I have a question for you, Barry and Jazz and Robert and anyone else who's watching. We may or may not have a visitor at the end of next month up to the great land of Glasgow. And I'm looking for suggestions of places to take said visitor.
You know me. I'm full of suggestions.
Are we talking about touristy places, or are we talking about... What are we talking about?
Yeah, touristy places. Something that is not too expensive, but just nice places to go around Glasgow. I mean, I've got a list, but I'm curious to know if I've missed anywhere. So I won't say what's on my list. I just want to hear what you guys have to suggest.
I mean, just interject, I'm just chuffed to nuts to get out of Malvern. Lockdown or no lockdown.
So are we talking beauty spots, or are we talking historical museum-y things? What are we talking about?
I think the Huntarian, if it's open, would be a cracking place to take Mads.
Huntarian, the Kelvin Grove as well, if it's open.
Obviously.
I would expect.
Yeah, go to the museums.
The Riverside
Disney
too,
Palace?
but the problem with the Riverside is it's quite a cramped space, so it may not be something you can go
It's
into.
also like it's fine, but it's not as nice as Kelvin. Like it's not as nice as.
It's not as nice as it was at Kelvin Hall. I agree with that.
Yeah, I wish I could have taken them to the old Transport Museum, but
Yeah.
that's obviously not a choice anymore. But I still
But-
like. But if you've not seen the old Transport Museum, you probably will enjoy the new one.
Is this like Industrial Revolution stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
But the other stuff's nice.
under
Take-
normal conditions, if you wanted to splash out and see one tourist site, I would recommend Stirling Castle. But I know possibly that may not be a possibility because of the social distancing measures. But I'd
Right.
recommend going to Stirling
Fair enough.
Castle if you under normal circumstances, because they have living history people there all the time. You get a better
That's
sense
fun.
of the whole thing, and I do enjoy Stirling Castle for that. If you
Oh,
want to do
I'm
Castle
quite happy
Route,
to run around a ruin. I don't need all like the bells and whistles. I just I like running
Yeah.
around the old buildings that are empty.
Well, if we go down that way, I'll then be tempted to try and go to the safari park as well.
Yeah.
Just go to Loch Lomond as well. Like do like a nice bit
Absolutely.
up there. Like,
Kafkin Braes as well. I know you get a
You
good view of
see,
Glasgow.
this is where I really need a frigging car.
but Loch Lomond, I mean, you get a train to Balloch and it's not take that long. Like,
Well, but-
how I feel when you come here. There's nothing to do. There's more to do in Glasgow in walking distance than there is in Malvern.
But I really want to take you.
Sweet FA to do down
But I
here.
Well-
really want to take you to Lairdrum Safari Park because it's the best place.
Unfortunately, though, I don't think you'll be able to get there in any reliable public transport. You can get to Stirling
No.
Castle on train. You can get to
yeah, and
Dumbarton
Balloch and
Castle
Loch
on
Lomond
train.
stuff.
You can get to
Yeah.
most places down the west coast that have got good sites.
So
on
what you're
that
saying
way.
is we double date and I take my friend Alan and Jen because they both drive.
I mean, that's the way to do it for sure. Find your driving friend.
possibly.
But I'd rather Jen drives than Alan. So
Yeah, it's just obviously for vlogging purposes because I've not had a car for 5 years, and that vlog's coming up soon, by the way.
Well, Carlos.
Yeah, Carlos.
Oh no,
Carl.
Carlos makes me sad.
Yeah, you love that one for the
When
sadness
he gets up
factor.
his car, it's a genuinely sad video that he did about it. Like, it actually bothers me.
Oh.
Yeah, Barry had to give up his car a few years ago for
Right.
financial reasons, and he did a vlog about it. And
Oh, Barry.
Poor thing.
And the room falls silent.
You're like, oh.
But
Okay,
it's
hang
a
on.
really sad vlog, especially when you walk
Yeah.
away.
Yeah,
I really wanted to add in the music from the end of The Incredible Hulk as you walked away from your car. Just do 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 do.
yeah, absolutely. Or do 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 do
What
do
car
do
was
do
it?
do 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 do.
What car was it?
It was a Fiat Punto. I'd had it for 8 years. I called it Penny because it kept breaking down. So I just went, help, help all the time. So I called it Penny. Like Penelope Pitstop.
Okay, that sort of makes sense.
Mm.
You're right.
But it was 8 years I had it, and it was going to cost me over £1,000 to fix the car to pass an MOT, and I didn't have the money at the time.
Aw.
Wish I'd kept the car now. It would have been a lot. I would be able to fix it quite easily now. But there we are. Just the way it is.
That the same car drove down
yeah,
to
Jasmine,
Wilton.
Jazz, you didn't need to say "be right back" on the chat. You could have said that on Skype, but never mind.
Was it BRB AFK?
Yeah, she put BRB on there. Just a proof it's on the screen there. There we are. BRB. But yeah, so that was an interesting one. But the vlog, I don't know if you guys who were watching, I know Fraser potentially wasn't, but I noticed that the music at the end is the one for the title sequences now. Is the actual vlog titles music. That's the first
That's when we
instance
were
of it.
explaining Deanstructor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I missed the end of it. We were too busy in shock at how young you were.
Why do you think I don't like these videos? I'm too young. I feel too young in them, you know. I can
You know,
I can just about tolerate the one to Manchester, but I can't do anything before that without going, "Oh my God, I'm old."
Oh, yeah. This is yeah. When I found those photos from like 2005, I was like, oh God, this all went wrong.
Green's going to be gone before we actually have dinner.
no, it's fine.
Want to shove the line up, Baz?
Oh yeah, well I'll have a look at the lineup again. Thank you for prompting me to move on. Yes, that's great. But
The lineup.
Yes. Yeah, Yaz, you didn't need to. Jazz, you didn't. I keep saying Yaz. Sorry, that's after my cousin.
That's
Jazz,
okay.
you didn't.
Yeah,
Need,
don't
you didn't need to
forget
put
that.
BRB in the chat. You could have said it on Skype. But there we
I
are.
tried to. Oh no, I didn't say it in Skype. No, the chat then should know Prina in live where I'm going at all times. I'm sure they appreciate that. Right, Arthur?
He won't respond now because he's not on probably. But there we are.
Oh no.
But lineup wise, yes. We've had the vlog, Deanstructor. We've got 6 facts on Mary Queen of Scots, which is my second most popular 6 facts video on the channel and keeps getting views every day, which is brilliant. And then Doctor Who review of Idiot's Lantern. What? Sorry, you say something there, Fraser?
No.
Sorry,
No,
I'm
it's
too busy
sniff.
listening to my own voice.
It might have been a rogue sniff.
Sorry,
All right,
I
okay.
choked on a bit of chocolate. I'm still recovering.
Could be that too, to be fair, but there we are. But okay, so yeah, that's the lineup and that's the videos, and yeah, you can tell I had a bit of trouble trying to put the whole thing in for Fraser and Mad, so it all came up in different levels. But there we are. That's your lineup.
Names on the screen because it's Fraser and Mads. It takes up quite a lot of space.
Sorry.
Did you? Yeah, you put Mads, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I put
It's
Mads.
lovely.
Well, if I put Madeline, it wouldn't fill up. For some reason, the text doesn't let me fill up properly. But as I was saying earlier in the video,
9 letters, no.
yeah,
So
as I
many.
was saying earlier in the video, this could be the last live stream on the laptop.
Yes, he's hopefully upgrading, right, Barry?
Hopefully, I'm
Sorry.
upgrading to a new PC later this
Oh,
month.
I'm really annoyed at you for that, Barry.
Why?
Because I've been going on at you for months about getting a new laptop. No, I'm saving up money for my mortgage deposit. No, and now you're finally giving it. Now you're buying a new
Yeah.
laptop.
I bet. Well, it was I know. He helps me so much, and then he shoots me right down again. It's really terrible.
Excuse me, all the live streams we've done, and all you've done is complain about the hamster's wheel turning to dust, and how slow the processor is, and me and Arthur, by the way, it's not just me, keep telling you to get a new laptop.
That's absolutely true. To be fair, I have been playing on that a little bit. I've been saving up for it the past few months, but to be fair, I have been playing on it a little bit more recently. But I did realise it was really the December one that made me think, yeah, I have to start looking at it.
And for nothing else, it'll be just good for your streams as well.
And for your soul.
Getting.
New things are nice.
It would be nice to have it. I mean, this laptop's 5 years old. I keep saying this. It is 5 years old. My warranty's now run out that I was paying for,
Yeah.
which is fine. So I'm free. I can do it. I'll still use it for reference and things like that. And it will take a while for everything to transfer over onto it with new software and that, because I want to do the whole shebang when I'm at it. But the reason I want to get it is because next month we'll have 2 live streams, potentially 3.
Ooh.
I beg your pardon.
Great.
And also, what laptop are you looking at?
I'm not looking at a laptop. I'm looking at a tower PC.
Oh, okay.
And the one I'm looking at is, well, put it this way, if I wanted a laptop, it would cost me twice as much for the same power.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what? It took me ages to understand that the computer part is actually the tower, not the monitor.
Yeah.
Well, Jazz also has a very similar story about
No, don't you dare! You
Didn't you,
such a
Jazz?
person. I was staying so quiet just now.
what did you learn recently, Jasmine?
Love when I
Why
was
are you
telling
being
you
so mean?
It's funny.
I know it is funny. It's ridiculous. No, so like, people like PC, Mac, whatever, and I was watching something, they're like, oh, it must have been like IT crowd. It was a clip of something. Or some, I don't know what it was. But they're like Macintosh, which obviously I understood that Mac was for Macintosh, but I didn't understand that PC stood for personal computer until, last week?
That's fair enough.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Barry.
I didn't know that until you just said. So.
Uh-huh. See, Fraser? It's not just me, but also I felt very dumb, because I was like, what did I think PC stood for?
It's another good thing you have in common.
No one really, like,
You just say
everyone
PC.
just knows that PC is the abbreviation for computer, but no one really.
Well,
You're
just
the keypad.
Mac. It's like kind of like a Microsoft guy, so I just assumed it had something to do with him. It's not a laptop, it's like a desktop is a PC, they're
What, you
the
mean
same.
Bill Gates?
Yeah, that guy. Microsoft. Bad jumpers, glasses, billionaire. You've heard of him.
Yeah.
Bill Macintosh Gates.
But the reason why the key driver of me getting it's I'm actually slightly early. I'm dipping into things, but I will be able to pay it back. But I'm getting the laptop. I'm getting the tower because
Right.
we have a certain election coming up next month, and I want to live stream over the weekend the results coming, because they're not doing the results on the Thursday night, Friday. They're doing it over the weekend because of COVID.
Wow.
It take a while to count.
Guess what? You guys will love this.
What was that? Sorry.
I said, guess what? You guys will love this.
Go on.
Guess who shares a birthday with Nicola Sturgeon?
Oh,
You.
Me!
wow.
I did hear. I've heard. I'm very excited for you.
And what's his face?
Benedict
Cumberbatch.
Cumberbatch.
Benedict?
Benedict, that's it. That's a badge.
What was the name of that Black Mirror? Bandersnatch. So,
Bandersnatch.
Yeah. Barry, circling back to counting over the weekend, which again happens through my birthday weekend. That's confirmed.
Is it your birthday in May, Jazz?
I'm not sure if you've heard.
You failed to mention
Oh
that.
my
Guys,
God,
I'm not
we
sure
totally
they're
did. We better write that down in the calendar.
Has anyone heard? But no, my point is it's my birthday weekend, so I'm starting my birthday celebrations. I've given the election day, obviously, the day. So, and I'm doing all this. Well, I'm also doing all this prep work, because that's on the 6th. I'm doing prep work for the election.
So,
anyway,
when's your birthday, Jazz?
It's Sunday the 9th of May,
Okay.
if anyone's curious. But I'm starting my celebrations on on Friday the 7th. I'm starting quite late, I'll have you guys know. I'm being a lot of
Why do you
restraint.
need several days for one day?
Because I'm very important. Well, no,
To be fair, I do like having a birthday weekend.
No, to be fair, I get that, and I get your birthday weekend, but I was intending to do so just an hour or maybe two, just going over the results and having a chat with people's views about what's happened with some of the results on a Sunday.
Well done in pulling it back round, Barry.
What? Sorry?
Well done in pulling it back round.
But I mean, I'll have a look online, but obviously I'll be very busy aging, and people appreciating the age.
No, you cannot say that again to your elders. Like that's just rude.
Yeah,
Happy
you're
birthday.
talking
Yeah,
about
I know.
aging to 3 elders of you, Jazz. Yeah.
You're only gonna be 29. Cry me a fucking river.
Beautiful
I'm
woman.
gonna be 31 this year. I'm down, Jasmine.
I'm not celebrating the aging. I've no problem with it. Again, a delicious wine, a beautiful cheese, all the things that are maturing.
I'm being 30. It sucks.
I'm sure it's fine.
That's all right.
It's terrifying.
I was about
I'm
to
close
say,
to the end and the beginning.
hey, once I get
Yeah, you
past
are the
42,
wrong
my
side
life is
now.
completely dead. I want to be the answer to the life universe and everything. After that, I don't care.
Sure. Okay.
We all have a mutual friend.
Yeah.
I mean, the three of us, not Mads hasn't had the pleasure of meeting him yet.
But if you're talking about Jamie, I've spent many.
No, it's not Jamie, no. Who said to me a few years ago as we were getting on a bus from Glasgow to Edinburgh to go to a Comic-Con, and he said, yeah, I think when I get to 30, I'm probably just going to kill myself. And I said, I beg your pardon? Yeah. And he was just like, yeah, I don't really see what the point is. And I got really worried about it when me and Jamie had to have an intervention with him. Jazz, you know him because he worked at the King's Theatre for that one
Oh,
day.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
And
Classy gentleman.
his views on women in particular are horrible.
Oh, okay.
But he he was like, oh, as soon as I hit 30, that's me. That'll be me.
That's expected from him, to be fair.
Weird outlook to have. As it turns out, he is now 30.
I
so.
genuinely was planning that, but for different reasons.
But yes, you have different reasons.
I just think it's probably fine. You know.
Look, it's all in the head when you get to a certain age, so it's fine.
I mean, I wouldn't be young again. Like, not young. You see teenagers, and I'm like, I wouldn't be a teenager again. What a drama.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's getting my beak at the moment. Why does TikTok have them all doing suggestive dancing at 12? I don't get that. What's the culture reference to that? That just seems weird to me.
The dancing.
Yeah,
I mean,
all
I
these
quite like
dancing
a
videos.
dance. I've been learning the
Well,
choreography for
I need
dancing
some
at the moment.
context.
Yeah, can we get context, please, Baz?
So
TikTok, you said
basically, Facebook has been nasty to me recently and started putting things up about the Scottish Tories all the time, which I'll keep
I
blocking.
get that too, yeah.
And a picture of the weasel face Ross every time as well, which friggin' annoys
Yeah.
me. But that too, I think you made it clear by Facebook last month with the whole Alex Salmon thing that I really hate Douglas Warros.
Yeah.
But go back to I'm meandering here. Go back to context. But there's occasional videos come up on Facebook. These occasional things about people dancing and things like that, and all these TikTok compilations coming up. And there's friends who have nieces who are 12, 13, and they're
Yes.
doing dance routines with them. Fair enough, but I didn't realise it was actually a thing that 12, 13-year-olds are doing on a regular basis on TikTok and all these other places.
Yeah.
And they're
Well,
suggestive moves. They're not just normal
That's not
12, 13-year-old dancing.
playing right into a paedophile's hands there.
I know it's hot. I don't get why they think it's fashionable to do that. It isn't. It feels weird to me.
Because sex sells, and everything at this day and age is so overly sexualized, and children are desensitized to it completely. That's because no one's been policing really advertising. Yeah, sure, adult programs can't come on until 9 o'clock, but a lot of the adverts price that. I mean, even The Simpsons. So I watched The Simpsons when I was a kid, and for a long time I stopped watching it because it was inappropriate, all the scenes between Marge and Homer and whatever. It was basically a precursor to South Park, which is so much worse.
So much worse.
Yeah. But as an example, with like TV,
When you watched the new ones recently, didn't you? And you thought they were still just wildly inappropriate.
well, yeah, but at some point something's got to give, because you can't. Because it doesn't matter how much I want to keep him a child and protect his innocence. Whatever is out there is going to be over-sexualized. It's going to expose him to things that I can't control. So he may as well watch something like The Simpsons, so he knows what his friends are on about. Like, he heard about sex from another kid at school, and I hid the fucking room because he didn't know what it was.
But then all you can do in that situation is just educate him as best you can for what the world is. You can't change it. I guess you can just prepare him to be the best he can be in that world.
The uphill struggle for parents is that the media. So, I got Twitter for the first time ever, and I follow loads of drag queens, and they're all talking about this little Naz, and I've never watched anything, but
the video's hilarious.
talking about his new music video, right? And they're saying like, it's a common expression. Parents have just realised that little Naz and Cardi B aren't there to raise their children, but it's like, someone needs to be policing what they're putting out, because if anyone's having any type of sex with anyone on a music video, that can't be broadcast in the middle of the day. That should be after 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Kids are going to find it.
But it's on YouTube, so how are you going to change that? You know, unless you've got like police codes or whatever, like parent codes.
That is a problem.
The argument is, so they're doing like these sexualized dance moves, but that's because all they've grown up on
is
sex.
Yeah. But
no one's gone, hang on, should this really be marketed to young kids? Is this appropriate? Oh no, because it's going to make us money.
But also all the things are like that. Like, do you remember Bratz dolls were like really like weirdly sexualized? Even Barbie, like.
Dolls, so I don't.
But even like there's so many things like, I mean, I don't know. I think it's always the case. I don't think it's new. I just think it's more accessible now, I guess.
I was about to say that. It wasn't. I'm not saying it was sanitized when I was a teenager. It wasn't, but it wasn't as explicit and in your face as it is now with online.
I think the issue for us as well is that we are also desensitized to it. That if you don't come at it from a certain perspective, i.e., being a mum or a dad or a parent or whatever, you're not thinking about it.
Yeah, but it's really good, Barry, that you noticed that people's children were behaving in this way, and you instantly thought, oh, that's inappropriate, it makes you feel uncomfortable. So, as someone...
Well, I remember my sister and my cousins dancing to Five in the early noughties, and dancing the moves, and they were really, really clonky, and they weren't smooth or sexualized, but they were in a certain way, and that's the sort of thing I expect kids now to be doing, but they're not. They're doing something completely different level, which doesn't seem right to me, doesn't feel right. And I am using a point of reference from 20 years ago. I'm not going to turn around and say otherwise, but I still feel it's not that appropriate. And I'm not a parent, but I still have that thinking that it's not quite appropriate. And why is it there? It doesn't seem right. I shouldn't be getting an indication to watch this content for more than just, oh, that's nice. And I don't, obviously I'm treading on difficult ground here, but I don't want to be watching stuff from 12, 13-year-olds that makes me go, oh, hello a minute, let's have a look more of this. And that's as far as I'm going to go. But,
it's being aware of it as well, and you can report these things, and you can say that that's not appropriate, and you can do as much safeguarding as you can.
Carefully, because as soon as you criticise the parent, you're going to get a whole load of abuse.
That's why I don't want to go any further than that. I just want to give my point of view of how I've seen it, because obviously...
but I agree with you. It is a problem, Like my friend's daughter, for example, she has this top which is essentially lingerie, and I had a fit when I saw her wearing it. Like, I was horrified that she'd gone outside like that. It was essentially just a bra. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I said, if I had a daughter, I would never let her set foot outside wearing that. But then it's also, there's a fine line between what's appropriate and what's preventing, like, a personal expression. Like, these days, like, you know, it is in fashion to wear basically underwear on the outside. It's so, you know, I think it's up to the individual parents what they're going to put up with. And you don't want to deny anyone's self-expression and figuring out who they are and whatever.
No, of course not.
Them to be, because it's not a safe enough world for anyone to walk out in the street looking exactly how they want to. Like, if someone wanted to wear, you know, suspenders and a crop top outside, they couldn't do that. They'd get raped.
I mean, that's not.
I'm giving an extreme example. Like, you
can get raped wearing a burqa. I don't think it's really.
No, but I get where Mads is coming from. It's kind of like a signal to behave badly,
sure.
which it isn't, which it's not supposed to be, you know?
Yeah, like, it's not a safe enough world to go out wearing what you want to. So why would you, like, you've got to ask yourself, if you've got children, is my child going to be safe enough going out wearing that and expressing themselves the way they want to? Because, you know, is that going to make them fresh meat to these people that are out there? Because these people are everywhere. It
is really worrying. I mean, it's just the whole situation. I mean, as I say, it wasn't sanitized when I was a teenager. You had Britney Spears in a leather catsuit.
Hello.
Yeah.
And Hit Me Baby One More Time with the schoolgirl uniform.
Very
It wasn't
That
sanitized.
really bothers me. Yeah, that's so inappropriate.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And you do the dance.
As an adult and as a parent, I'm like, what? Hang on, that's like... Cause
I know you got music videos where If You Have My Love by Jennifer Lopez, she's in the shower and these sort of things. It's kind of, what? You know?
That's what I mean by everything being overly sexualized.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
they know sex sells, so they just keep doing it. And that goes down into...
Education, I still think, is the other aspect of that. Like, I think if you don't want to change the expression, or maybe you shouldn't change the expression, it's just about education, right? And that not the counteract to that. You know, like, rather than silencing people or telling people what, I think it's just about.
It doesn't matter how well you educate people, you are always going to find people that are damaged somehow in their head and think, you know, that are. Can you close the door a minute?
Yeah.
That are, you know, that way inclined, you know, serial killers, paedophiles,
Sure.
you know, rapists. They're never going to stop coming out of the woodwork, ever.
Mm-hmm.
So you always have to measure, you know.
But yeah, for sure. And you're registering risk anytime you walk out of your door anyway, or sometimes still in your house. But I still think there's like a moment, and it's different, I guess, if you're a parent, because you've got to check in with them. But I think as a person, you've got to figure out what level of fear you're willing to live in.
Yeah.
Well,
and
having been groomed online and raped as a minor, I didn't wear anything that was suggestive.
Yeah.
And that was my boyfriend. So, you know, it's what I'm saying is these people are always going to be there. These things are always going to happen. But as a parent, your job is to safeguard your child. So you need to be policing. The world outside is not going to police what they're putting out, because they don't have to. You've had the child. They're your responsibility. You've got to police what they're seeing, what they're being exposed to. You've got to weigh up between self-expression and safety, because you can't trust the outside world. It's not a utopia. It's far from it. It's not safe.
No.
Yeah.
Like, when I was younger, I used to play in the street. I would never let my kid play in the street. The amount of children like Jessica Chapman, little Jane Folger, all the kids that got snatched and tortured, and, you know, all sorts. It's not safe. It's just not a safe world, and that's the sad fact. So the media is not really helping at all. It's making a parent's job harder, or a caregiver's job harder, to keep a child safe. Because when someone's that way inclined and they're going to do those kind of things, they'll say, well, you know, they were dancing sexually on the internet, you know, and that gave them an opening. Whereas Jasmine would probably say they have every right to dance how they want to dance, and they do. But if you want to keep someone you love safe, you have to really fall somewhere in the middle. And that it's just a fact. It isn't right, but it is just a fact. If you've got kids and you want to keep them safe, you have to keep them safe however you know how.
Yeah, you're very much in my thinking with that, and obviously not being a father, I don't know how exactly I would react with my daughter being like that at that point. But what you're saying is very much what my thinking is, Mads, and I do agree with you. I would love to go in more conversation about this in other places, but I feel that obviously the conversation's gone Yeah, I'm not trying to cut it off, and I'm sorry if it comes across a bit blunt. It's not the intention.
Trigger or be inappropriate or whatever. Like, I think everyone should express themselves freely, including children, especially while they're growing up and trying to figure them out. But the cruel way of the world is that it just is not safe. Just not safe.
Yeah, it isn't safe.
And you've got to balance that somehow. So,
now, Rob,
anyway, back to your film.
Yes, that's fine. Robert has made a comment saying, I feel like all the innocence has gone for the world. I completely agree with that, mate. But we are going to move on to something a little bit more fun on this. And I'm not meaning to dampen any conversation here. It's been a brilliant conversation, but, you know, that's the beauty of these live streams. You get a chance to do this. We'll carry on. Here's the running order. We're going to play 6 Facts of Mary, Queen of Scots. Here we go. Her father, James V, died on the 14th of December 1542, just 6 days after Mary was born. She was the 3rd Scottish monarch in a row to become sovereign as a child, following her father and her grandfather, James IV. Mary was a real linguist. Apart from her native Old Scots, which she learned from childhood, and French, in which she was educated, she also understood Latin, Greek, Spanish and Italian. Later on in life, she learned English. She married 3 times, the first to Francis II of France, who died in 1561. Mary had spent her childhood in France, after strong-handed attempts by Henry VIII to marry her to his son Edward VI. Her second marriage was to Henry Stuart, Lord Darnley, with whom she'd had her only child, James, later James VI of Scotland, and James I of England, and finally to James Hepburn, Earl of Bothwell. It is thought he is one of the nobles who arranged the murder of Lord Darnley, after he in turn murdered Mary's secretary, David Rizzio, in 1566. White today is always used in weddings. In the 16th century, white was always associated with the colour of mourning in France. When she married her first husband, Francis II, she wanted to wear white. When her husband died, she used black. It presented the loss of the French crown and death of her husband. Her son James was not the only pregnancy documented to Mary. She miscarried twins at Lochleven Castle while imprisoned there after abdicating her throne. It is thought that the father was her 3rd husband, the Earl of Bothwell. All through her life, Mary sought to meet face to face with her cousin Elizabeth I. They never met. The closest the 2 queens ever got to meeting was in death. Mary and Elizabeth's tombs are today side by side in Westminster Abbey, separated by the nave of the church and held apart by the walls and carved stalls out of each other's sight. And there we go, 6 facts. And somebody
Yes,
had their mic on quicker. Sorry.
We were just discussing James.
Uh-huh.
Mads had something to add to it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, right. So he wore lots of layers because he was paranoid about being murdered. Like, really full-on paranoid about being murdered. He also had a lisp, and he was also gay.
Yes, these all 6 facts I'll consider for my video when it comes up. So yeah, no, absolutely, I knew about all them.
Yeah, Duke of Buckinghamshire was his favourite.
Yep.
And yeah, he was paranoid.
Yeah.
He's the reason why you lot, I think I've discussed this before actually. Yeah, so in 1603, he's the monarch that passed the bill to make Great Britain to consolidate his own power. So he's the reason why you lot lost your independence.
Boo!
Well,
the
he
Scottish king did that.
yeah,
We're on the fight to get it back. It's fine.
he was the start. He was the start of it. It wasn't officially written into law properly till about 100 years later. But yes, you're right. To all intents and
But he
purposes.
tried twice to get the bill passed because he wanted to consolidate his power, and he
Absolutely.
did.
Yep. It's him that's created the Union Jack initially as
Yeah.
well. Yep.
It's everywhere. On my flag too. Really gets around that flag.
Yeah, he is an interesting character, and he will be one of the 6 facts in the future. But that is, you can. I like that one, just the whole research thing, and ones I really like and get into the 6 facts seem to fly. It's really good.
I like the colour stuff of the dresses because I knew there was a lot of things with white weddings with Victoria, like white cakes and stuff. She not invented, but like she started like having like tiered wedding cakes.
Yeah.
Was from Victoria, but I didn't know the white and the black dresses were from Mary Queen of Scots. So
It wasn't
day,
deemed as
guys.
100% fashionable in Mary Queen of Scots' time. It was still a rarity. It was Victoria that made white wedding dresses fashionable and black for mourning
The women
fashionable.
used to wear yellow.
And yellow's nice.
The traditional dress for getting married in Roman times was yellow. Yeah.
Yep.
It's bright, exciting.
They used to dye it with saffron.
Yeah, that's nice. It also would smell delicious.
I think they might have taken the smell out a little bit when they were dyeing the dress, but yes, I know
Well,
what you mean.
then I'm sending it back.
That doesn't smell right. I don't want it, you know.
Purple was actually originates from Carthage, because there's some sort of sea mollusk or something that they used to get the purple dye. So it's Carthaginian purple. So they used a lot of obviously natural things to make colours.
Yes.
You smell of Parma violets when you were the purple one.
Yeah, but
Sea mollusk.
Just because it's purple, it's sort of went with saffron and.
Parma violets kind of smell like soap to me.
Yeah, I
tastes
don't like them. Yeah.
probably like I think every time I eat one, I think, oh,
I mean,
this is
soap.
what soap tastes like. Yeah, don't want to have that.
I don't like Parma violets, so I kind
don't
of
Because
know
it
what
tastes
they
like
are.
soap.
yes, that too.
Well, you should go to a sweetie shop or whatever and buy some Parma violets, and you'll experience it for yourself.
Okay, so is it just a lolly?
No, it's
Yeah,
not. It's
yeah.
like little tiny little sweeties that are
Yeah.
crunchy.
When you say sweetie, I mean lolly, which is American.
No, it's not a lolly. It's more like-
No, like candy.
Yeah.
no,
Candy's what I would call lollies. Candy lolly sweets. I'm just trying to figure it out. Is it a hard one or a gummy one? Describe it in
No,
more
it's-
detail.
hard. So it's like a hard sweet, but
Like a
not
hard
hard
candy.
boiled sweet. Yeah, it's like a hard candy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, there's just sugary.
Have you had refreshers, Jazz?
No,
You haven't.
sorry.
Well, that analogy went up the spout, didn't it?
Parma violets.
I'm doing it, okay? I'm doing
Refreshers
it.
and sherbet. Have you had sherbet?
It's basically a compressed sherbet that's kind of tastes flowery.
Spicy sherbet.
What?
It's just like
That's
whenever
what
you
Parma
see
violet
sherbet,
is.
it makes you think of
Okay.
Here's your orange
I've had-
sherbet.
I've had fizzes.
You've got what?
I've had fizzes, which look similar. When I Google it, it comes up with fizzes as next to it. I've had fizzes before,
Something like that, yeah.
but they're not. They're different flavors. The fizzes, each color is slightly different, like a
Yeah,
different
geez.
pastel.
You'll need me to cork it, won't you?
Oh, yes, please.
They
Raise
don't
the
seem to-
37, you can't cork a bottle of wine.
What? Why would you need to cork it? You're not drinking it?
Hang on.
No, it's a
Oh, there's no
yes,
cork.
yes.
Like uncork.
Wait, okay,
I'll
uncork.
cork
I
it.
thought you meant corking it. I was like, why are you
Yeah,
not
yeah,
finishing
yeah,
the wine,
yeah, no.
guys? It's one bottle. There's two of you.
I had to do
Put
it.
together. I finished my bottle earlier, but it wasn't a cork.
Did you enjoy?
Yeah, it was a Riesling, a nice one that's actually from South Australia. Makes me feel like I'm at home.
Well, I have enough trouble controlling live stream sober. I wouldn't risk having alcohol at this point. Thank you very much. But yeah.
Oh my God, Jazz!
Yes.
Bundaberg rum.
Yes.
Oh, I fucking loved that when I was 18.
It's very sweet. Too sweet for me, but yes,
Oh,
it is.
so
It's
good.
good.
You have
And I
it
like a
like
Bundaberg and Coke.
lemonade?
Okay, sure.
What would you have it with normally in
Just
Australia?
Coke normally, like a rum and Coke, classic.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, because the guy I worked when I had my first pub job, he was Australian, so he introduced us to Bundaberg rum.
Yeah.
I want to know why it's got a polar bear on it, because that makes no sense.
It's a real good question.
Which she has no answer to.
It's certainly not cold enough there to have
We
a
definitely don't have tons of polar bears, just to clarify.
You might get a couple of icebergs down the south of Australia occasionally, maybe, but
No, not at all.
I know New Zealand have a lot of icebergs that go past it, so
Yeah, but they'd have to come from quite far away for there to be polar bears involved.
I
Because
don't know.
oh, well, that's right. Yeah, I forgot. Wrong side
we're
of the
on a
world.
different.
Yeah.
We're on a different pole.
Sorry, my apologies. Penguins. That's what I meant. But there we-
Penguins we have, yes, but polar bears no. Again, different pole.
I was thinking about the icebergs more than the actual animals on them, to be fair. But there we
Yeah,
are.
we have icebergs as well, but again, they're coming from a different direction, so it's a different vibe.
A bigger ice mass as well. You'll still have icebergs when the northern hemisphere doesn't. So
Yeah, what an exciting time that will be. But yeah, no, I don't know why there's a polar bear on it. It's definitely like, I think you definitely drink much more when you're younger, to be fair, because it's very sweet. I think also like rum in general, like that kind of spiced rum is hard to drink a lot of because it is very sweet.
I was in 19, so, you know.
Yeah. Between that and like cheap vodka. But I quite like Bundaberg. Have you had the ginger beer Bundaberg? Is quite nice.
Oh, no, I don't like ginger beer.
They've got a nice. They do a lemon lime bitters and a root beer as well. They got like a nice Australian brand. I've been finding it places here and it makes me very happy.
Yes, and you'll be happy to hear that Vegemite is now available in Morrison's and Tesco.
I already knew, but they're only small tubs and I need big tubs.
From Marmite then.
No, I got a big one from home.
So what is the difference between Vegemite and Marmite?
One's perfect and one is vile.
Thing.
which
Perfect
one's vile
and
is
vile.
my question to that.
I think you know from my tone and my country. But also, you know, Marmite's a very different consistency. It's very sticky. It's very drippy. I don't know why it's so drippy and sticky.
Is it? I'm
And
a Marmite aficionado, and I've eaten Vegemite too.
delicious. Vegemite's full of some good vitamins for you, bit of folic acid, very healthy.
You need a little bit goes a long way.
Exactly, delicious. But it does help if you get conditioned for it. So if you eat it every day as a child, you don't notice it as you get more and more as you age. It definitely is harder to come into Vegemite at a later stage, I think. It's like nostalgia, you know?
Just when I was little, always. And apparently my cousin said, do you remember when you said the best way to eat a sandwich? And I was like, what? He went, oh, you said to squish them together. So we'd have a Marmite sandwich. Obviously, the best way to eat it for me was to squish it together with the butter.
I was notorious for always eating like bread and jam, and there's photos of me in the garden, face covered in jam, and just a smug look in my face of bread and
Again, if you squash it together, it tastes better than it is.
Did you used to have crisp sandwiches?
Oh, yeah.
British
Oh
people.
yes.
Goodness.
We've
It was-
discussed
it
this, Jasmine. You're probably very British yourself.
It was quavers for me. It was quavers in a sandwich for me. You crush that together. I love the sound of crushing it together on a quaver sandwich.
I always go for the tomato sauce flavour crisps.
I didn't get cheese and tomato sauce in a sandwich for years. I don't understand why I didn't get it. It's an interesting combination.
Do
But
you mean like snaps?
No. You could get like Walkers, and they were like.
Oh, the Marmite ones are amazing.
You could get tomato ketchup flavoured ones. Oh no, it was golden ones, I think. And I just
tomato ketchup is just.
and I just
disgusting.
yeah, but I like tomato ketchup.
You know, it used to be called catsup.
Yeah, is that an American thing though?
Probably Americans
I
get
feel
it.
like the Americans called it catsup to begin with. Ketchup.
No, probably originally catsup, and then the Americans got hold of it and changed it to ketchup.
We do a fun British thing with that because we call it dead horse because it's tomato sauce. It's a nice bit of rhyming slang for you. Bit of dead horse on it.
All right, nobody apples and pears, will you?
Bit of dead horse.
Australian rhyming swag. I'd love to hear more about that on a later live stream.
Put some Vegemite on here. And,
We put dead horse with Vegemite. We're not animals.
There's all...
Side note, Mads is currently making the dinner and it smells so good.
Yes, I thought you were going to help me, but so far you just stood around and, no, fuck off. You stood around in the kitchen, done fuck all, and had a conversation.
You've not asked me to help yet, and I normally just get it wrong.
That's not the reason not to try, just quietly.
After the bollocking I got for the missing spoon, I thought, best not.
It's still a spoon.
It's
But
a
that's
massive
really not
spoon.
you.
Just go with the normal spoon.
You-
I mean,
Wow.
it's because
Mads, it's not his fault. He doesn't have a cutlery organizer. He doesn't know the difference.
Oh no, guess what's in my suitcase?
Yeah, but he never knew. He's never known such luxury.
Guess what's in my
Places have
suitcase?
I'm glad for you.
Yeah, so am I.
What sits on a sandwich for me, says Robert. I understand that.
What's a what's it?
What's it? It's like a Cheeto.
Okay.
Does
So-
that help?
yeah,
Yes,
but not
I had a
not.
Cheeto.
But
Yeah,
not,
but
not as good as a Cheeto. It's like a
Okay.
crap version of a Cheeto.
All right. It seems like someone like tried to name something and then forgot they were trying to call it something and went, those what's it's.
Well, we've got this broad international branding, stealing ideas. So we've got Marmite and Vegemite and Lay's and Walkers, and it's basically the same thing. Oh,
well,
and
I believe Vegemite's a different recipe to Marmite. So
Vegemites are very different recipes.
I thought
Oh,
it was
Tim Tams. Tim Tams.
Tim Tams.
Tim Tams are penguins, yeah.
Oh, come on now. Again. For that one, the guy who made Tim Tams literally had a penguin, and I love this, because he had a penguin.
Sorry. Had a what?
a
He had a
penguin.
penguin.
She's got all Benedict Cumberbatch. You can't say it.
Before, and it's quite...
Penguin!
Oi, don't be
I'm not being that.
xenophobic.
I'm not.
Hey!
It was interesting. Penguin.
But the point is, he had one and went, what if this was not terrible? And made it with quality ingredients. So the chocolate on a Tim Tam is like the best chocolate. Everything's quality ingredients rather than just like the chocolate they found at the bottom of the factory and put that on a penguin and hope for the best.
It's a bit of a shit biscuit, yeah, to be
The
fair.
worst Tim Tams are the best biscuit, kind of internationally.
I reckon just took the same idea and shoved more sugar in it. I think that's probably what's going on
But
there.
it was quality is a big part about it. It was quality because like the biscuit's better, the chocolate's better. They just put some time and energy and love into it.
Do you have any left in your house right now?
Not at all. Come on now. I did buy shakes.
Package, it's all gone.
Her mum did send a care package and there was tons of Tim Tams in there.
Tons. There was 3 packets and I did share some of them.
It's
Um,
lockdown. Don't
no.
be so judgmental.
I'm not being judgmental. I got to eat a Tim Tam. I was very happy.
Oh, you got one?
Yeah,
I shared.
I am. You can also buy them in that Munchies place around the corner from mine.
Hang on. Well, Jasmine, you're the authority, so have you tried them that are available here? Are they the same?
No.
Or
They will be the same. I've not tried them yet because they're really expensive. But I got shapes from there the other day, which is an Australian kind of crisp. It's not a crisp. It's more like a baked biscuit. Delicious.
Right.
But I got them, and I got Solo, which is like a lemon squash drink that we have. It's
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
you told me that. You were very excited for
I'm
yourself.
so excited for it. It's like a lemon. It's kind of like the closest thing I can think of in this country is like Sicilian lemon. Fever tree Sicilian lemon.
Oh yeah.
That's the closest thing you have, but this is much better. And so I got a few things from them the other day. So they do have a couple Australian things in, but they don't have my favorite Tim Tam, which is double choc. If anyone wants to get me any double choc Tim Tams, my birthday, 9th of May, open to that. But I haven't had them yet. But I'm waiting for them to get my flavors in. We'll see.
I feel like we veered off from what Barry wanted us
Poor
to
Barry.
Sorry, Barry. This happens every time for you. Your streams got. You know what, Barry? I look forward to the day you decide, actually, I'm going to do this one solo. You'll get done so much quicker.
I know it'll be done in about 30 minutes. It'll just say, right, here's the next video. But
Yeah, but that wouldn't be as fun.
it wouldn't be as fun. This is why I'm still doing them, because of the conversations we're having. So I'll sit here quite quietly making occasional interesting faces, but apart from that, I'm happy to carry on.
Tim Tam, Barry?
What was that? Sorry.
Ever had a Tim Tam?
No, Jazz ate them all.
No,
I shared.
Jasmine.
I haven't had a Tim Tam yet. There's a lot of foods that I haven't had, America or otherwise. Okay, it's a bit strange how I don't tend to go for a lot of foreign stuff in regards to food
Tell
types.
you what. I think it was a Tootsie Roll.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are
I
weird.
had one in Canada, yeah. And it's basically like, like raisin,
Mhm.
Riesen, and they're like really hard bits of chocolate.
Yes.
Basically like a softer version of that.
I always imagine the Tootsie Roll being fruity.
No.
That's because of Fruity Tooty, right? Tutti Frutti. So that way.
Maybe
Fruity
that.
Tootsie Roll.
I think because I hear Tootsie, I hear juicy. I don't know why.
I think I had a Twinkie.
Oh,
I've had a Twinkie, but they're terrible. Like,
Yeah,
I've
because-
got to say, American chocolate is
yeah.
fucking disgusting.
Because of all of our Ghostbustering, we always have Twinkies at the table, and they're not as good as you think. That's what.
No, because
They're
it's
not.
so
They're not as
processed.
nice. No, I agree.
It's so processed and like gross. Like if it was fresh cream, it'd be lovely, but it's not.
Right.
I mean, only in America would they have cheese in a can because cheese wasn't quick enough. Like only, yeah.
You stole that bit for sure.
I do. I will admit this. I am a bit partial to having some plastic cheese from time to time as a kind of craving. But apart from that, no.
I can sort of see that, but just not.
Oh, Cheese Whiz.
Yeah.
No, just Kraft singles, something like that.
Too much cheese in a can. Like,
Oh right.
Gross.
Oh, I bet Stuart's had that.
I've been getting some Baby Bells lately. That's been my new cheese time. It's been delicious.
Thanks to a conversation between Jamie and his flatmate about baby bears, I can't.
Oh my god. Yeah, the Baby Bell drama.
It's like little lumps of Edam.
Yes, delicious.
I love Edam, and if
I
you
love
want,
that.
Smells like feet. Like this is rank.
Delicious.
but there was the Edam's an interesting one for me because for ages there's a fish and chip shop in the town centre in East Kilbride called Victor's, and they do these kind of pizza pies. So it's like
Pizza pie.
yeah, and we love them as kids and we love them as adults. Me and my sister, and we're going. We can't figure out what it is. Is it the base? Is it the sauce? Is it the cheese? And then they put a notice up on one day saying the pizza's going to be a bit different. We're using different cheese. We're not using our usual Edam. And I'm going, wow, is that what the difference is? Because I thought it was the base or something, but it's Edam cheese on the pizza. It's really quite nice.
Delicious.
I was just sticking my mouth.
So I live with.
So like, there was no point actually, like in her doing this. She used to cut a piece of Edam, but it wasn't like a normal size piece. It was basically like half the thing of Edam. And she'd make a piece of toast and she'd put butter on it, mayonnaise, some pesto, and then she'd chop this giant chunk of Edam in it and then fold it over and eat it. It was disgusting.
I think it's more the mayonnaise
That's
that's probably doing that than anything else. To be fair, the mayonnaise and the pesto.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
is that's too much.
You know what? She's pregnant now, and
God help her cravings.
so she had pasta for breakfast. It was
That
like,
makes.
uh-huh.
You don't have to be pregnant for that. Just quietly.
I love how you always say just quietly, and then you say it quite loudly for all to hear.
Well, there's that diet thing where you eat dinner for breakfast, right? You do the opposite, and then you'd have. What does that mean? You have lunch for lunch still?
Yeah, lunch for lunch then.
Dinner, yeah.
It's really tricky. Lunch for lunch. And
Well, no. To be fair, it could have been breakfast for lunch and lunch for
No
dinner.
matter how you organise it, lunch is always going to be lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but Barry, did you used to call dinner tea?
Still
oh,
do.
that's so cute.
In the Scottish thing, we have breakfast, dinner, tea.
Yeah.
Lunch was your dinner.
You know, yeah. People say I was so confused when I first moved
But
here.
I've got,
I
but
like to work.
you got to remember though. I've got heritage from the English side, so tea was more known in my family where my dad came from and where my mum's family comes from, and that's
Yeah.
where tea comes from. It's as you say, it's more dinner up here.
But I
Yeah.
thought that was so odd. 'Cause I
I
was like,
take tea as well.
tea's fine, but dinner at lunchtime is so weird.
There's no haters. It was just something we used to go. Oh, it's dinner time, but that meant lunch. And then it was tea, and then it was tea. It was my brother Stuart who used to do it constant. I think that's where I got it from.
Well, I just have breakfast, lunch, and tea. That tends to be what
lunch, but
the
again,
meals are.
tea's fine. Lunch is, but I don't like dinner as lunch because it's just very confusing.
And we definitely.
Oh, I don't like that either.
And we definitely called like a jab a jag in Scotland, right? That's not just.
Oh,
yeah.
that's so annoying.
We don't call them either of those things. In Australia, they're just called a shot or a vaccine.
Shot.
No one would say jab or jag.
Yeah, but I can understand.
Very
I can understand the
aggressive
jag
sounding.
situation because it hurts. It's like that's jaggy,
Yes,
which is what you get when you get stung by nettles. You say it's jaggy up here. So
You're also called. If you're going by that analogy, a shot is like when you get shot with something.
Yeah, shot with a vaccination.
no, I agree, but it's just a Scottish thing. You know, it's just a Glaswegian thing. It's like you hit something that's a bit sharp, it's a bit jaggy. You know, so that's where it comes from.
Oh, Barry, I bet you're glad we're all here now.
On that sidebar for a moment, Fraser, if you want to order ice cream, time is now.
Oh, no, let me have a look and see what there is.
She has
Yeah, 'cause
been
I'm
watching the
reading-
live stream. She knows the situation. There we are.
I'm reading the
Why
The
are you
flight-
doing that in my presence as I'm making a slimming world dinner? I mean,
Oh,
how
sorry.
Not ordered this ice cream in months.
I know, but they've got some interesting ones this week. So I just thought I'd mention it because they go on sale in 4 minutes.
No,
And my alarm went off to remind me.
Well, do you know what? This is a great opportunity to play the last video, so thank you for leaving that in there.
You do that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna order some ice cream. See you back in a sec.
See, that'd be a good idea. Since it's ice cream time, and Jazz has been the representative of that today, we'll play the next video, which is a Doctor Who review of The Idiot's Lantern.
Wait,
What?
Jazz. What are the flavours?
She's gone.
Boo. All right, please.
I'll message you / look online. What is wrong with you?
Okay, bye. Enjoy the video.
Hello there, and welcome to another review. Now, this review is relating to a medium that used to be popular before YouTube. They call it The Idiot's Lantern. Yep, kind of gave away the title of today's review in the introduction. It is the David Tennant story, The Idiot's Lantern, the 7th episode of his very first season, Series 2. Back in 2006. Hard to believe it's 12 years ago now. Anyway, as always, I have a plot synopsis to go through, but it's not through the television companion because I only have the television companion going up to the TV movie. This is afterwards, so I've written quite a quick synopsis here, and we'll go through it just now. The Doctor and Rose arrive in London in 1953, although they were intending to go to an Elvis Presley television appearance in New York. They soon realise it's just before the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II, and Rose notices TV aerials in most houses, which should be rare at the time. The TVs are being sold by Magpie, who has been taken over by an entity called The Wire, who intends to feed off the local population to create a body to shed its electrical form in which it is imprisoned. During their investigations, the Doctor and Rose meet the Connollys, who have a family member, Tommy Connolly's grandmother, without a face. She's taken by the authorities during the visit, and Rose notices a strange energy around the Connollys' TV, and she makes her way to Magpie's shop, where The Wire steals her face. The Doctor follows the authorities and finds a local holding pen for all the faceless victims, speaking with Detective Inspector Bishop. During their conversation, a faceless Rose is brought in. Angered, the Doctor goes to Magpie's shop, and nearly loses his face, after The Wire tries to consume him, Tommy and Bishop. Tommy and the Doctor manage to escape, and they go to the Alexandra Palace station transmitter. Magpie connects a portable device which houses the Wire to the transmitter, and the Wire starts feeding off the local population. The Doctor manages to stop the Wire with his own device, capturing it on a Betamax tape, but not before the Wire kills Magpie. Everybody has their faces returned, and the Doctor and Rose celebrate the coronation with the rest of the town. So yes, quite a long-winded plotline, but worth it, I think, because it gets the story quite well. Let's go into the story itself. Interesting little concept, talking about an alien entity around the coronation. It's only based around North London, but the fact that you've got this entity that seems to live in the transmissions that's eating people's faces to get their minds. It's really quite a weird concept. It's the second script written by Mark Gatiss for the series. He always go on to write many more. He's second only to Stephen Moffat in the number of episodes that he wrote for the series. No, that's a lie. Russell T Davies is second. He's third to Russell T Davies and Stephen Moffat for the episode they wrote for the series. And overall, the script is alright. Basic enough story. Monster of the Week situation. It's right in the middle of the series, so you expect it to be maybe a little bit more relaxing, bit of a background to it. But I like the idea of the coronation, the fact everybody's celebrating, and the spooky face that comes out. Trying to evoke some of the Empty Child Dr. Dance's feeling from the previous story with some of the music and the way it's projected, but it doesn't quite work. The Doctor you have played by the effervescent David Tennant, of course. He's in the middle of his first season at this point, so by this time he's settled into the role, and his chemistry with Billie Piper is fantastic. They really bounce off each other at this point. You can definitely see why Tennant is one of the most popular Doctors in public opinion. He's got a great mix of humour. There's a lot of rage in here, and there's certainly anger as well. But the anger only comes out when Rose is taken. Before that, he's quite interested, he's quite placid, he's just moving along, bumbling along, trying to find out what's happening. So really you can see that Rose tempers his anger in that respect. Speaking of Rose, Billie Piper is definitely solid in the role by now. She's done, at this point, a series and a half of Doctor Who. She really has made Rose her own, and it's really she's really relishing it. She's confident in the abilities that Rose has, those abilities, and really complements, as I say, the Doctor from his harder edges. A couple of guest stars here, of course. You've got Maureen Lipman, who plays The Wire. Okay, sinister character. I like the idea it comes from a kind of staid, plummy BBC announcer that she takes the form of. Although there are some times where she goes a bit too hammy. The hungry, like she says, she does it a bit too hammy. It just seems a bit forced. It doesn't seem very menacing, I don't think. Then you've got Ron Cook, who plays Mr. Magpie. Now, very tortured soul, and he's a very poor stooge to the Wire's plans, of course. And he really is tormented, and Ron does a very good job of putting that across. Then you've got some other minor characters. You've got the Connollys here. You've got Eddie Connolly, who's played by Jamie Foreman. Now, Jamie Foreman was known for other things at that time, but it's a great little part he's done. It's quite fun. He's atypical of a man trying to be the big man of his own house, but secretly is weak as anything. And the fact that he obviously tries to put his pretense on with, I am talking, and the way the Doctor shoots it down rather quickly afterwards, it just shows he's trying to put some sort of authority there, and it's not quite working. Then you've got Deborah Gilley, who's Rita. Now, she starts the meet wife, the browbeaten wife, but shows a strength of her own by the end and ends up kicking Eddie out. After she finds out that Eddie reported the authorities about Rita's mum, Tommy's grandmother, in regards to the face not having any face. So it was down to Eddie that reported it. So you see the coward side of him as well. And then you got Tommy Connolly, played by Rory Jennings. Now, Rory, he's the same age as me. He's 34. And he plays a very good scared young teenage boy, even though he's probably about 10 years older than that at this point. But he does have the steel of his mother, and it's played with a great charm, and I do enjoy the role. But as I say, it's not a bad story. I mean, the music's okay. The plot goes along at a pace. You're not really bored. There's no gaps. It's not really that rushed. The story just about works for the 45 minutes that it's on for. But it's not the best of the Tennant era. It is one of the more stories out there. And you do get a few with the Tennant era. I mean, every era has its iffy stories. David Tennant's era is no different. But it is mid-season. They've just come out from the parallel universe with the Cybermen from the Age of Steel. So obviously they're travelling as a pairing again after Mickey stayed over at the Age of Steel in the parallel universe. Pete's world, as they call it, later on in the series. And it's the start of the foreboding of what the Doctor feels about losing Rose. And obviously this is the first time we see Rose effectively being in a position where she could be lost to the Doctor, and we see his anger and his grief from that. So it's the first foreshadowing of what happens later in that series. Marigold's music is fine. It's got it's pretty standard at this point. It may have an orchestral tone to it now, but it's still very much like it was the first series, the way its style and its tone is. And but his big orchestral pieces are still to come, as far as I can see from the series. That, you know, he's not really done the big famous themes that he's done later on yet, but you can see the elements of that in here. But there's a lot of sax, there's a lot of brass being used still, just like the first series in that respect. Overall, I give this 3 TARDISes out of 5. Yes, not the best story in the run, not the strongest. I do enjoy it, but it's not a story I would pick off the shelf automatically to watch. But yes, this gentleman here is certainly having an interesting time as the Doctor at this point. So what do you think of The Idiot's Lantern? Tell me, let me know in the comments down below. There's a link to the playlist up there of all the other reviews I've done so far. Tell me what you think of them. Go watch them, comment, like them if you haven't already. And if you like what these videos do and you like to see more of them, the best way of finding out when they're next released is subscribing. The reviews don't necessarily come out every month, but they do come out on a Sunday at 4 PM GMT on the 3rd Sunday of the month if they do. Speaking of the schedule, next week it is a Kidstructor, and I might be sorting through my post before we go ahead and do the reaction to that one. But until then, hopefully you'll join me for that. New video is released next Sunday at 4 PM GMT, and I shall see you then, unless, of course, there is some news I put in midweek. At the time of this recording, that's not happened yet. Anyway, until then, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you later. Oh dear. I hate it when I ramble too much on these videos sometimes. It really is a little bit annoying at times, but there we are. Yeah, there we are. There's the review of The Idiot's Lantern. I've noticed in some of these early reviews that there potentially could be a problem in regards to some of the ratings I'm giving some of the later stuff. So I'm actually in the process of re-looking at all the ratings I've done, and I'll be doing a video very soon of my re-rating of all the reviews I've done so far. Anything from 40 onwards will probably be okay, but anything before that I'll need to look at again.
Too high, too low? What's your rating problem?
It's just the early ones when I first started at Jazz. I was kind of trying to be a bit more balanced, and as it's gone on, I've been watching a lot of good stuff, and I can't rate it that high because, or that low, or whatever, because I've set a standard from previous ones. So I need to re-rate them a little bit, I think, and it's getting close to 50 reviews, so I think it's about time to maybe look at that a little bit. But overall, yeah, that was interesting. That's the last time that the new series reviews would have had a plot synopsis. I kind of didn't do that afterwards. I just went straight into it, and those discussions are actually a little bit better for it, I think. But yeah, that is the review for The Idiot's Lantern. Next month, I believe it's a Matt Smith one. Sorry, go on.
Interesting.
Oh, who's... Oh, sorry. Something's talking. Someone's something. Someone. I don't know who.
Something, someone? No. Wasn't me.
I mean, I've just ordered some ice cream, so I'm happy. So.
Speaking of ice cream orders, what have you ordered all?
I
ordered
went.
ice cream. So this is from Peacock Ice Cream, which is in Glasgow. Support your local ice cream people, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
What did you get, Fraser?
I went for the pineapple skies.
Yes.
Nice.
And you went for the Allura, right?
I got pineapple skies as well. So pineapple skies this week has got tart sweet pineapple ice cream with tangy tamarind infused caramel swirl. Hello.
I noticed we both avoided the vegan salted caramel.
Well, I had salted caramel from last week still, and then I got Allura as well.
So maybe if it's an option when you come up. Yeah. So on the Sunday before Mads comes up, we're going to order the ice cream so you can experience Peacock things.
You've got to do it a week before, but she's just great, and she's like it's a really nice lockdown story. I mean, I like anything like that. Like obviously, most of us are trying to support local as much as we can, but she's just got a really cool story of like she used to just make ice cream for herself and just for Instagram and for fun, and then it became like a proper business over lockdown, and now it's really blown up, and it's just nice to see someone succeeding like that. Yeah. Also, the ice cream is delicious.
I feel my only issue with it though is that it melts quite easily.
It's because there's no extra chemicals.
Yeah. But I just feel like if you're not careful, it just can very quickly turn to gloop.
You could have little bowls. Where's your little tiny ice cream bowls that I have? Delicious.
Yeah, you're talking to me. You've seen my cupboard.
That's true. And the other flavour...
It melts anyway.
Oh, you do like it melted, don't you?
I got the other one I got was Allura, which was a mascarpone ice cream with orange oil, rustic Italian cake, which I'll ask my Italian housemate how rustic or Italian it is. Grape and olive oil, which is an interesting combo.
So yeah, everyone check out Peacock's ice cream.
Well,
Yeah, that's our ad for the week.
Yeah.
If we keep doing it, do you think he'll send us free ice cream to review?
Yes, I hope. The only thing with any sort of food stuff for me is it doesn't get a chance to melt. So it doesn't really matter if it's natural or not for me.
That's
It's all good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she just does really fun flavors as well, and she just she's also just lovely. She's just the nicest person.
Yeah, I remember missing the campfire one, and that was the one I really wanted.
It tasted so smoky and incredible. Like, it's amazing how they got that kind of flavor in there. Let me tell you.
That to this day it haunts me. Like
Jesus.
it does.
No, it was amazing. And it was like one of a
Still
kind.
haunts me.
It's one of a kind. So yeah, you should feel bad about that.
Yeah.
I don't know what does actually haunt you, but there you go.
Well, yeah, we didn't sleep the other night, so that's not.
You being haunted properly again? That's unfortunate.
Oh, yeah. I feel like it's a regular occurrence. I genuinely now see things around this flat. Like,
I'm sorry,
Good.
it's me.
Quick question: who are you gonna call?
not me. Call someone else.
Like, actually get rid of
I fell back asleep this afternoon, and I could hear one of the cats purring away, and it's like, oh, someone must be stroking the cat or something. And I turned around, and she was just on her own, lying on the desk or whatever. And I was like, oh, there's somebody stroking her. That's what's happening. It was Phoenix.
Oh, Phoenix purrs as she breathes.
Oh, that's
I'm
fine then.
worried,
I was like, oh, ghost.
Her.
Well, do you not know that cats purr?
Phoenix would.
He thinks that cats need other people. Cats don't need people to purr. They can self-purr quite fine.
Yeah, I was like, huh, ghost.
No.
Now, we're talking about cats here. I was going to mention about the Scottish Parliament elections, but I'm going to leave that to the next live stream next month.
Barry,
Yeah.
before we go, though, I need to ask you a quick question. And
Jazz, we're not going yet. We've still got time.
no, but I want to ask this question because I just wanted to think about it. Because Fraser, remember what we were going to ask Barry that question about his friend?
Oh, I need to shut the door. Hold on.
Oh
no. Sorry, I thought it was going to be your question about people who are silent during certain activities, but you mean his friend.
No.
Never mind, carry on.
How are you being weird about it? No, Barry, I'm not sure if you know. I mean, it's COVID's easing up. People have had vaccines. I'm in the dating scene, and I'm looking at things all the time and people all the time because it's fun. And there's someone who is one of your friends who I wanted to get some goss about. If you're happy to do some live goss for me.
Jasmine, are you
I would.
shade right now?
Can I
maybe.
just be careful with that and maybe put that on after the
Maybe.
stream?
I'll send you a message.
Well, we can chat about it after the stream goes off. I'd rather not cause myself
Fraser
problems
said-
again like I did
No,
last
Fraser-
month with talking about other
Fraser
people
told
behind their
me-
back. So I'd rather not do that again if I don't
That's
mind.
fair.
So
Well, that's fine. He told me to save it for the stream, so I did. And suppose I've done everything you asked me to do.
Don't blame
one,
me, I'm not
yeah. I mean, last month, yeah, there was a bit of joke about the situation with Fraser, but it does make me a bit more wary talking about these sort of things online. So
Yeah,
I'd rather not
That is fine.
do on the stream this time, if you don't mind.
Well, I was
Sorry.
going to talk to you about it last week, but then he's like, save it. And I was like, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
no, I'm
yeah.
happy to talk about it after the stream, but I'd
No,
rather
it's
not do it on
fine.
here. I was going to talk about dating, though, as my last
Okay.
topic for today,
Yes.
because thanks
Last topic.
to Fraser, I have been looking at Hinge more recently, and I hope nobody else
Okay.
is on there, Jazz. Because I don't want to be pressing the cross button for you, because I don't think it's very fair putting likes for you. You know, it's one of these things.
You know. I'll look out for you there, Barry.
Yeah. But with the Hinge stuff, because obviously, if I'm correct, that's where you two met, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
How do you start the conversation? Because I've had a couple of interests, and I seem to have gone into a novel of my life.
Well,
I don't want to go, hi, how you doing, and then that's
Don't
it.
be like Fraser, and don't be stroppy and rude, because that's not going to get you anywhere. And if someone wishes you a happy St. Andrew's Day, you reply politely and say thank you.
I would also like to point out that it's been 4 months and we're still dating.
Yes, but no. I was being genuine. I was being genuine in my question there. How would you open it up nowadays? Because I've got hi there, how you doing, and then that's it. It's dry.
Okay, sorry.
What?
Didn't I gave you advice on how to talk to guys on Hinge, didn't I?
Yeah, the guys are the worst.
Yeah, but I'm not talking to guys. I want to talk to girls. But yes, thank you. But
Okay, so don't be creepy.
that's good
one.
advice.
Don't talk about your sex fetishes or kinks, because that's another one. I literally had someone talk to me about, it was a Welsh guy, not surprised, say about fitting two penises inside a woman at the same time.
No. I don't go. I've never gone down that route. That's not me.
Side by side. So don't. Yeah. So it's basically obvious.
Not gay though.
The last thing I want to talk about when I open up a conversation to a woman is, "Hey, you up for some DP?" I'm not going to do that, you know.
Basically say hello first and how are you, like a normal conversation if you would a friend. Like, you know, maybe say.
We kept it fairly light.
Like, comment on something on their profile, not necessarily their looks or a picture. Like, so you got those like cards. Like, so I had a statement like, "Oh, feels the need to say hello to every cat and dog I find," or whatever. So we lead with that. Actually, look at their profile, read what they put.
Take an interest.
And start a conversation that way. So if they've said that they enjoy cooking or whatever, ask what they like to cook, and just start off that way. But hello goes a long way. So don't wait. Even if they've matched with you, don't wait for them.
No.
Like even if you're the girl, like you shouldn't have to. Like don't wait. Like men kind of like that when some like a woman takes initiative and starts a conversation. But also, a lot of women will wait for the guy to make a conversation. So chivalry is not dead. So don't be stubborn and don't wait. Just say hello, how are you? And comment on something that they've written about themselves rather than... Yeah, I mean, you can say, "Oh, you look quite pretty," but you don't want to be creepy. Like...
Well, I've done that. I've done that on a couple. But the last one I talked about, it was kind of a conversation because she you know, I liked her photo. And I like the fact that she likes Doctor Who. And I talked about that, saying, "I'll be honest, your geeking for Doctor Who intrigued me as well as your photos the most." Maybe the photos bit was a bit creepy, but...
yeah, did she stop talking to you after that?
Yeah, I've had nothing since.
Yeah, it's because you said about how she looked.
Well, I did like a photo, so that was the thing, but never mind.
Oh, I know. It makes... You're, like... Common sense wise, yeah, I see where you're coming from, but maybe just say, "Oh, what's your favourite Doctor Who episode? I'm a massive fan too," and go from there. And I mean, if she ever sends you, if you move from Hinge to WhatsApp, and don't be one of those guys that suddenly goes, "So pics as soon as you're on WhatsApp," because that's annoying and creepy. If she ever sends you a selfie, then you'd be like, "Oh," then that's your cue to say, "Oh, you look lovely, you look really beautiful." But don't like comment on her body or say anything sexual. Just, you know, tell her she's beautiful and away you go. That's your cue.
But the intention wasn't the fact of saying, "Oh, I like I picked for the photos," is because I liked a photo, and that's how she invited me to chat.
I know, Barry, but you take it from her point of view and think of the hundreds of men that have just been simply commenting on her photo and her looks and her appearances, and if you start off that way, she'll just assume that you're just going to fall down that route as well.
And they just want sex, or they just want some virtual fun, right? Which is the thing, you know. And so my main rule is be normal, treat her like a person, say hello, ask about her interests, ask about her life, and she'll ask you back, and then you'll.
Well, the last word did do that.
Have a conversation with her as if you would like Fraser or me, like, or Jazz. Don't be afraid of her just because you find her attractive. She knows you find her attractive because you've matched. So the attraction's there. So only until you've progressed because the banter needs to be going on Hinge. You need to have that good conversation through in order to go, oh, do you want to swap numbers properly and go onto WhatsApp? That's when you're in. That's when you need to book a date and stuff. If you go onto WhatsApp.
I think I'm just trying to be careful because of the story I told you and Arthur a few months ago about that guy who got roped in with all the money stuff. I'm just being careful what I say so I don't come across as that person.
Oh,
Okay.
I've had people ask me for money, yeah.
Because I told you that story, didn't I, about the friend?
Yeah, you did. It was horrible. Yeah.
Yeah, and basically the friend was in a nice conversation with her. She was sending photographs of that back and forth, and basically it started with, I don't have any money. I need to get back home. Can you give me a bit of money? And he was stupidly giving money. It was small amounts.
Yeah, but it's also.
Yeah, but she thought she was paying him with photos. It was like an unspoken contract, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, she knows full well that men are gross, and they'll want, sorry, I'm generalising, they'll want porny photos and more, and then she can use that, say, I've, like an unspoken contract, I've given you those things, so now you need to give me money if you want more.
Yeah, but it ended up with the fact that she said she got arrested for not wearing a mask or driving, and it was at Carlisle police station. It was asking for a couple £1,000 to help get her out of jail. And it's kind of like, what?
There are scammers, like even on, oh my god, Scrabble. Like, so Words with Friends. I wasn't even dating. I was on Words with Friends, and there are so many creepy old men on there. And they were insistent that I got hangouts, and I did, just to shut a few people up. And then I was trying to get scammed, and I read several articles about how it was becoming a real problem, that men were preying on what they deemed to be like vulnerable women and trying to get money from them. Like, if anyone asks you how you earn your money, instantly run, because that's a scam. Like, because I would be asked, like, oh, so what do you do for work? How do you pay your bills, was the question. So if I said I wasn't working, I was studying, and they'd say, oh, well, how did you pay your bills? I knew that was going to be like a scam. So if someone has a conversation with you like that, just shut it down and end it.
It is difficult. I mean, he went only as far as giving top-up card pictures.
Yeah.
So it was tenner
well,
here, 20 quid there, but it kind of started with that. And it's the fact that he told me later, after he saw the stream, he told me later, he said he was getting phone calls at 3 a.m. from this person.
What?
Via WhatsApp.
It's also common sense as well, Barry. Like, just if your gut feels wrong about it, then just listen to your gut. But just like Mad says, and it's the best advice in the world, just be normal.
Yeah, just be yourself.
Like, it's tricky, and obviously you want to make a good impression, and you want to try and form connections or whatever. But you just, and you know, we're perfectly capable of getting in our own heads and tripping ourselves up. But it's just a case of, you know, just take a beat, take your time.
Yeah,
enjoy the chat.
It's just my self-confidence coming or lack of self-confidence coming out when you said, Barry, just be normal, and I'm going, hold on a minute. If I'm normal, I get nowhere. You know. It's like,
Barry.
Like, treat the person that you're connecting with as like one of your friends. Think of them like that first, and say, like, you know, have a normal conversation with them as you would, and conversation with substance, because that's how you end up, you know, graduating onto WhatsApp, and then you graduate to a phone call, and then, you know, you graduate to a date. There are all these steps. I think what you're thinking about is the end goal, which is, I need to get a date. I want to get a date, but you need to develop the connection with someone first, and that takes time. So it takes time. It's perfectly acceptable to talk to other people as you do so, because you don't know who you're going to hit it off with. It's perfectly fine to give your number to several people on WhatsApp, but be warned, don't give it to everyone like I did, because then you'll get too stressed.
yeah.
So only give it to people that you are genuinely keen on and you really want to date with, like, because you like them for who they are rather than what they look like and you want to get your leg over. Like, it's that comes, if you put in the time and the conversation, they'll know that you're serious and you genuinely want a date. This, all you can do right now is virtual stuff. So yeah, so your first port of call is Hinge, normal conversation. Then you go WhatsApp. Then you go phone call when you're both ready. Don't push any of these. Wait for them to, like, say, oh, you know, this is getting quite long, maybe we should just have a phone call, and then make a time that's right for you both. Or, you know, you could also do video calls, like FaceTimes and stuff. Like, it doesn't have to be intense, but obviously make sure you look nice and whatever, because you want to make a good impression. But like, these are all the steps that you need to get through to get, you know, to the level of a date.
Yeah. Jazz, have you got any opinion on dating?
Well, I don't
and
like
your
phone
experiences?
Calls. So
really?
like, I would never do that because that's something that like I hate the idea of phone calls with strangers. I have like a whole thing with it. Literally, my job is phone calls with strangers every day. But that aside, but Fraser's gotten me into voice notes, so I do voice notes now a bit more, which is fun. But I do like, it's hard because normally in dating without COVID, I always meet people really quickly because I think there's a lot of time you can spend, not wasting time makes it sound more aggressive because obviously it's fine, but like sometimes it's hard to get a gauge on someone without just meeting them. I had a park date the other day, which I knew kind of a little bit before it wasn't going to be right, but that's okay. But I'm still glad I did it. Like I just had like a park, we just went and got coffee, we walked to the park, and it was an hour and it was fine. And it's not something I want to pursue, but it was like, sometimes it's nice to get to that point.
Yeah.
I'm talking to someone only for a couple of days just now, and we just started talking about brunch. He had a really good opener about like him not having brunch before, because one of my things is about brunch. And then I was like, what? And then we like had a big brunch chat, and then we were talking about bucket lists, and now we're talking about traveling, and like we're not really, it's not really deep stuff, but it's like really nice. It's still fun, which I think is nice, and like keeping it still engaged.
I think that's important as well. Like,
yeah.
So don't get me wrong, Barry, and I'm sure I'll be backed up when I say this. It's a minefield.
It's hard. Yeah,
it is hard, but I've kind of kept away from it for the bad excuse of I couldn't afford to do it. Yeah. Now I'm in a position where I can afford to do it. That isn't an excuse anymore.
Barry, I can't afford it either, but these things happen.
No, but I've used that as an excuse to push it back, and now I'm trying to make an effort because I'm thinking, shit. Literally shit, you know.
Well, when you get to the dating stage, once you start dating somebody, then we can obviously touch base, and if there's anything I can help you with or Mad Jazz, I'm sure we'll be more than happy to.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'll take that on board.
Definitely not an expert, but I do a lot of online dating. Doesn't mean I'm good at it.
Yeah, well, that fair enough. I get that completely. Robert's saying this is good dating advice, and I think it is good dating advice. So that's good to hear.
Perfectly acceptable what?
Perfectly acceptable not to date because it is lockdown and it is it is even harder than normal.
Yeah,
like,
but we are talking, Mads, about 10 years of non-dating before that, so it's really difficult for me to get back into it. And this is why I was just looking for some advice, especially over. I'm relying on Hinge a bit at the moment. I'm trying to keep to one dating app, you know. So it's just trying.
I only went on Hinge, but I think it's because I'm female.
Mm-hmm.
I had dates coming out my ears.
It is easier.
Not to brag, but it's easier when you're female.
To be fair, it goes back a little bit to the conversation we had earlier in the live stream as well, in regards to why that could be. So I get that. So.
Yes and no. It's just all about transparency and decency, really. You know, the fundamentals of being a human being, which just kind of get lost, and just make sure you've got common sense and you don't fall into any traps because. You know, and if you're telling me you've been alone for 10 years, right, then you've got a pretty good sense of self, yes?
I do. And Fraser can attest to that, unfortunately.
That's something like most people don't have. So if you go into the dating world and you know exactly who you are, exactly what you want, you're like the Holy Grail because there are so many people out there, they don't know who they are, they don't know what they want, they don't know who they want, and they're just kind of running around with their heart in their hands, giving it to everyone to take it. So, you know, and I'm kind of one of those people. So I think you'll do well and you'll do it right and you won't have as many pitfalls as most people. So draw on that for confidence.
That's great.
That's good. That's really good advice, and thank you for that, Mads.
I think also because if you're not afraid to be alone, then you don't have that other kind of, because I think there is that thing as well, but if you don't have that, if you're quite comfy with yourself, which I think is super important, then you're coming into something as a kind of a full person as well, which is really valuable.
To be
Yeah,
fair,
Mads is right.
I think you guys get the impression I am pretty comfy with myself. I mean, doing this once a month is always a thing. But no, to be fair, I think up till now there was things that were barriers in my way, and it's just getting to the stage of sod it, just go for it now. One was money, because I was in real dire straits for years. 2 was living at home, which I'm kind of thinking is not so much of a problem now, and 3 is just the confidence factor, and it's kind of like, well,
Yeah.
let's just bash you with the others.
Transaction.
Sorry?
You've got to remember, dates are not a transaction. You are not, just because you're the man doesn't mean you have to pay for the date. A
Very
woman
true.
who's independent and, and won't have it, she'll pay her own way. Like,
Yeah.
you're not paying for her company.
No. I didn't mean paying for every day. I didn't mean going out and paying for everything on every day. What I mean is being able to afford my side of it. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah, I know, but bear in mind that just because you're the man doesn't mean you have to pay for anything. Like, I make a point of paying for myself. I pay my own way because I don't want to owe anyone anything.
For sure.
Because then there's this unspoken contract that, okay, so if you pay for my meal, I have to put out now. And most, like, that's not true, and that's not the case. So you pay your own way, you're covered. But you don't need, like, oh God, the amount of people I've been out with that haven't had their own place, that have got kids. I've been out with a bunch of different types of people.
It wouldn't be so much.
Depend on the person rather than what they have to offer.
It wouldn't be so much. It wouldn't be so much the problem for me if where I live now there was enough space to have a guest in as often as I would like, for that sort of thing, for people to come around. Not the sexual experience things, but just being there on a social basis in a flat somewhere to make the cheap dates.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not one that's the best. I'm sorry, but I think you know what I mean. Hopefully.
I mean, also keep in mind, Madeline and I haven't had an actual proper date yet, so like.
No, like we're I've got to tell you, we're coming off on the back foot, and we've done it all arse about face, and it's the cracks are showing because of it. Like, we essentially have walked into a relationship that is at the stage where it would be after, say, like a year, and like you've moved in together. Like, we have thrown ourselves into a situation that we're not ready for because of lockdown. So it's actually had a negative impact because we haven't had all the magic and the honeymoon period and the dates and whatever. We've had to essentially live together every time we've seen each other, and that's
difficult, yeah. So
and especially like Fraser coming into my home where it's not just me, it's me and my preteen. That's a lot, like, for a person, and me having someone live with me again for a short period of time after being, after having had a long-term relationship where I was living with someone, that's quite a shock to the system too. So don't rush it. Like, make sure the pandemic allows you to date normally, because not a lot of couples, I think, that start a relationship in lockdown would have managed to maintain it because lockdown made it so difficult.
Yeah. No.
So we now have to backtrack.
So you're not at a disadvantage at all right now.
Yeah.
In fact, you're at an advantage. You're coming into the game at a good stage. Most people are getting their jabs. The pandemic's almost over. You can take your time. There's no rush to go for dates because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't feel like you're missing out and we're streaks ahead of you, because in actual fact, we've got to backtrack really hard to kind of make it work with the future, because we put ourselves in a situation that our relationship was too young for.
To be fair, though, you've done the hard work up front, so hopefully the date's a little bit easier.
For sure. But also, dates are going to happen. Like, pubs will be open soon. We've got for like an actual drink with somebody. I'm so excited for that.
Well, to be fair, they have straightly speaking been going dates. They've been going for walks, and that's a favorite kind of date in my eyes. But yes, they're not the dates they think are dates, but they have been dating, but not in the way that some people think.
Like we've been trying, haven't we? So we've been going, when you're here, we've gone up the Malvern Hills.
Yeah.
We took a few drinks. We took
very cute pictures.
We had some dinner. We had some nice dinner at the table. And
not last night. We did a candlelit
dinner. Yeah.
Cute.
Well, that's dating. It's not dating. Doesn't have to be in a certain place.
We've watched
TV together and stuff.
Or we've actually done ourselves up a bit, and we've had chat on Zoom and stuff like that. But
I think we've just put too much pressure on ourselves. But what I'm saying,
It depends on the individual,
Yeah.
right? And it depends how. Like, we're obviously not very good at policing ourselves and slowing things down. We're rushers, so you know, it just making sure that you stay true to yourself the whole time. You never put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, and also that you don't let lockdown dictate what you are and aren't ready for. So I rushed Fraser meeting Jack, and I wasn't happy about it, and I wasn't ready for it, but I felt like I had no choice because of lockdown. Like, my big advice would be, don't ever, because of lockdown, put yourself in that situation, because it then causes problems.
Yeah.
Like, it causes a pitfall. Like, say if it doesn't work out, I'm kicking myself because I've let Fraser meet my son and be in his life, and it hasn't worked out. And it's not just me that's going to get affected, it's him too.
Yeah,
So,
I get that.
you know, like, try to, regardless of the pandemic, keep it as normal as possible. Like, you know, the life cycle of the dating needs to be how it normally would.
also, don't be afraid to check in with each other as well and just see where you're both at. Don't be afraid to have that conversation. Like, I am not normally big into communication because I'm always scared what the other person is going to say. But the good thing about Mads is that she's always open to have a conversation and is always brutally honest about things. And I think that's really important as well. And I think that can get lost. So don't be afraid to talk.
I also think that Barry's maybe in the early parts of this section. Like,
I agree.
we're still just trying to get people to reply on Hinge, just quietly.
You didn't hear my advice. Do what you. I'll print a booklet, Barry, and I'll send it your way.
Oh, don't waste all the paper. Send it digitally.
Here is Barry. Like, don't think that it's all gravy for us, because it actually isn't. It's been really hard.
No. No. I don't think that at all.
Keep it alive during the pandemic. So the advice we're giving you is literally what we've learned firsthand, dating each other during a pandemic. And also, I was dating prior. I had dates with other people. So the advice I've given you is off that. I had some really good dates in between lockdowns. You know, where we actually got to do stuff, but the connection wasn't there. So, you know, it all depends on who you find, but just don't rush anything.
Be normal.
Draw from the confidence of your own self. You know, knowing yourself. Like, that's a big deal, to know yourself. People are still wandering around. I'm still wandering around, and I don't know who the hell I am. But if you're telling me you know who you are, that's a big thing. That's a big selling point.
I'm starting to doubt whether I actually do know myself now, but I think I know myself more than what you're indicating there. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like if you're happy and content in your own company, which you obviously are, you're not looking. So I use this analogy, like, relationships are supposed to be the pudding, right? Mm-hmm. Your life is the main course. That's your life, and when you decide to share it with someone, they're the pudding. Like, for a long time, you wait a while. You wait at least a year until they become part of the main course. That, you know, you talk about your meal. You talk about your life and whatever. But they're the good bits. They're the honeymoon bits. The pudding. The good bits. They're not supposed to be everything immediately. Like, don't change your whole life for someone.
Maybe I've been thinking it rather. I want to give the starter before I go to the main course and pudding. You know.
I don't know, but you're not really having for ice cream, so. But yeah, that's the advice. So.
Only other thing I want to mention, Barry, is don't take it to heart if there's the ghosting, or if things fizzle out as well, like online, like that kind of chat fizzles.
Well, that just happens. That's standard. Like,
I just want to make sure that's clear.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's no issue with that. There's no issue with that.
You know, it can be hard. I don't know. I still sometimes take it personally, so that's why I mentioned it. So I have to remind myself.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
That's why I wanted to mention it.
But that's all been great advice, and thank you very much for that, guys. That's really been good. Look at the time. Wow, this has really been an interesting conversation this time round. It's not because I'm thinking shit is 3 hours.
How's it felt having 2 women on board?
It makes it a bit more interesting because it's nice to have a different point of view. I mean, we have a laugh, And I'm not saying it's not boring or anything like that. It isn't. It is always a laugh. But it's nice having a different point of view of conversation. And the offer is open for both of you to return next time. There's no problem with that whatsoever.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot more gravitas
Yeah.
this time round, and I think that's absolutely fine. So
Yeah,
and you missed
absolutely.
that. Barry said you're welcome to join next
you.
time.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Although I wasn't sure if you were actually speaking to me after last month, but there we are. There's
Oh. I'll forgive you.
yeah, we already have. It's fine. I know that. So there we are. Speaking of next month and next time and things like that, of course, I don't just do a live stream every Sunday, first Sunday of the month. I do tend to do a video every Sunday at 4 p.m. GMT. And
Don't start me.
the video's coming up. Yeah, don't start that because it's now 5 p.m. Yeah, I know it's getting confusing for you again. Because you get GMT and BST mixed up. Yes, absolutely.
It says 6 o'clock on YouTube, but then I click on the thing and it says 7. Greenwich. Greenwich Mean Time.
Not Greenwich time. Yeah.
Yeah, 6 o'clock GMT. Well, obviously we're an hour ahead of that at the moment, so it's just
Nonsense.
I know it is nonsense for you. I absolutely get that. But
Why make things harder? Why make numbers harder than they already are?
But as a general, as you know, there's a video every Sunday at 4 p.m. GMT. There is that this month. We have a 6 Facts next Sunday on Robert Walpole, who it's 300 years since he became Prime Minister. Well, the role that we call Prime Minister, the first Prime Minister.
And he's still going strong.
I was
today.
gonna say
301.
that too,
I mean, he
Fraser.
looks good. Looks good
I was
today.
literally trying to jump in on a joke there, but I couldn't quite get it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Sorry,
Fraser's usually pretty good at the jokes. It's okay, Jazz. You don't need to worry.
No, I was
but-
like, wow, what a long reign. But
Yeah. Sorry, Jazz. I'm always ready.
Yeah,
No,
he is
yeah.
always ready. Yeah,
I'm happy to let you have it.
yeah. So there's a 6
That's
Facts in
appreciated.
Robert
It was
Walpole.
mine anyway.
Yeah, there's a 6 Facts in Robert Walpole next Sunday at 4 p.m. GMT. Then the Wednesday at 6 p.m. GMT, there will be a video for my vlog, which is Dunstambur Castle down in Northumbria when I went in September. Then we have a Doctor Who review for The Crusade on the following Sunday at 4 p.m. GMT, and then we have
Crikey.
the first of the Quizstructors that I did with Fraser and Arthur back in January. And I will
Is it
give a
gonna be-
technical
is it gonna
disclaimer. There was a bit
it
of
gonna-
technical issues with it, so they may be a little bit louder in some places than it should be.
Okay.
So my apologies for that in advance.
I
However,
really hope you kept in my funny joke.
I did kept most of them in.
Good.
Now there is, I proved that it can work if we have the right technical bits and pieces working, because I've just finished the Big Break one for May and it works fine. So I know it's all there. So, but I know that was a concern with some of the recordings, and I had to apologise for that last month. So. But yeah, that's the outlook for the next few weeks. I will close off, and you'll have a quick sneaky peek of some of them of the videos coming up as they end up a part of the closing as well. But apart from that, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you, Robert, for joining in. Thank you, Arthur, for coming in occasionally when he was here.
Here.
Arthur was here occasionally. He made a couple of comments. He just said hi and then disappeared again. He obviously isn't interested if he's not taking part. But then again, he doesn't get a word in edgeways half the time with phrases about, so it doesn't really matter. But there we are. But also, thank you very much to Jazz for the first appearance, and it's been a very interesting first appearance. And thank you very much.
Thanks so much for having me. Yeah. If you want to see more,
Don't
I've
forget
mentioned
to
my
check out
podcast.
your podcast. You want to promote your podcast very quickly?
Letters to Miss Piggy, anywhere you find podcasts. And otherwise, on Instagram as well, Letters to Miss Piggy, or just Jazz on Instagram as well, if you want to find me.
Cool. Thank you very much, Mads, for joining in tonight.
You're welcome.
I think last month, obviously, your comments on the chat would make me a bit. The exercise one made me laugh, but I couldn't say much until you actually made it clear, because I thought it was Fraser and I was going to behave myself. And of course, the new perennial favourite, you have to be Fraser, because I can't see him a lot, is Fraser here. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, well, I had no choice. I was legally obligated to be here. I did sign a contract, so if anything, I've only got 6 more appearances to go, and I can move over to Arthur, and I can start our own channel. So I'm joining. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's all good.
Absolutely. And Robert says it's been a pleasure,
bare minimum
Barry.
effort for the next 6 live streams.
Yeah. And Robert says it's been a pleasure. Now, next month I will be doing a live stream as usual on the 2nd of May. I will be doing also another live stream the weekend of the 8th and 9th. I'm not quite sure what day it is yet. I'll let you know on the live stream itself to cover all the bits and pieces of the Scottish Parliament elections. So that's my information there. But until then, thank you guys for watching as always. Sorry, go on. Yeah, now if you do like this video, don't forget to like it and share it with the hashtag Teamstructor, and also don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you know when a new video comes out. Ping! And hit the notification bell. He's pinged too early, but there we are. Yeah, absolutely. And also, of course, I do have a Patreon. If you are interested, go to patreon.com/Deanstructor and give me a hand to help improve the channel. And that's not why I'm getting a laptop, a PC. So you have to then go do it for me. But there we are.
It's to pay me for my 5 more appearances. Yeah,
I've got a backlog of payments for Fraser first. That's the thing. Yeah, absolutely.
He owes me £128. Don't ask why it's not rounded up.
He doesn't binary. He doesn't in powers of 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever.
Yeah, £128 for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be fair, I've been drinking wine now, so this is descending into madness.
I don't know if I can tell, but there we are.
How very dare you?
Yeah, it sounds about normal. But anyway, I'll see you next time, guys. But thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next month. See you later.
Bye.
Bye. This is Arthur's choice, by the way, so if it's rubbish, leave a comment down below.
Please, don't blame me.
Shh. We're waiting for a date. You tell us. Okay. Any second now.
In regards to the guest cast, there's so many here, I'm not going to go through them all.
After watching that, I'm not actually that upset about choosing it now.